Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 627, recording live on October 15th. I am one of your hosts, Kyle.
I'm another one of your hosts, Dustin.
I'm one of your hosts, Cowtown Tony.
And I'm Adriel. Howdy, everyone.
Cool. Hello. We'll get right into what we did with guns. And Dustin, why don't you start us off?
Oh, I can actually talk about doing some things. As is tradition, I was down in America again this weekend, shooting guns with some friends. I sincerely need a Ruger Ranch with a can. My goodness, that is a silent gun. My buddy has one in 223, and it's just click, click, click. Yeah, had a lot of fun. Shot a couple of guns with FRT triggers. That was a thing. Could use a couple of those in my life too. Went and drooled over some cheap handguns at Cabela's. I cannot get over how cheap handguns are down there. Like good handguns. Like I would be so broke, but I would have an enormous handgun collection if I were stateside. Probably foreshadowing for things to come in the future. Preparing my wallet now. Started organizing some of the workspace for my next show. And one day I'll be able to actually talk about it, not until well after the show is done, because I don't want to jeopardize things. But it's going to be a cool space to be working out of. It has me very excited. So starting to get that stuff sort of set up. I don't think we go to camera until next year, but I start on it next month. So cool. Properly. Because prep being what prep is. Yeah. I cleaned some guns when I got home. So yeah, I didn't. My buddy didn't make me clean any of his guns, which is hilarious because usually I do. He doesn't like cleaning them for some reason, and I do, but just time-wise didn't end up working out. So I cleaned some of my own guns when I got home. I don't know if I have any dirty guns left. I've got to go back to the range. Yeah, that's what I got up to in the last week. What about you, Tony?
So a few things. I went to shoot I saw I was not going to shoot it, but I did go to shoot the Rimfire IPSC level 1, IPSC style. Anyway, it wasn't sanctioned IPSC match. And my A22 might be giving me a sign. It's starting to die on me.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what, well, gun function pretty okay. Match went pretty good. 4 stages. I completely dropped one off. There was, somewhat related to this because I guess I'm not very good at handling stress under circumstances. So for some reason, the trigger doesn't quite want to reset anymore. It's intermittent, but during that third stage, there are like a couple of instances I have to push the trigger back forward.
Ooh.
Just to get it to pull again, which is interesting. This gun has been well maintained, well used. I want to say probably about 1,000 rounds through it now, which is in the grand scheme of things for competition, not a ton. I did shoot a few steel challenge with it, which is about 250 rounds per. And then Rimfire Madness, this match, there was a few other Rimfire IPSC matches before that as well, IPSC style.
Have you yanked the trigger out and just seen if there's anything visually wrong with it?
A
Maybe
broken
it's dirty?
spring or something like that. Because the A22 has a really positive trigger reset. There's got to be something broken in there.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I haven't done that yet because of the other things I was doing this week, but there isn't gonna be actually they are planning maybe a level 2 IPSC mini rifle, but I'm kind of leaning away from. Here's my qualm was IPSC. They didn't get back to me on how I should requalify because my gun was banned for the whole year of time that I didn't quote unquote shoot an IPSC match within a year, so my black badge is technically not valid at this point.
That's lame.
So the training staff, again, they're all volunteers from what I understand, haven't got back to me on how I should requalify yet. So Level
Probably.
2s for me is currently on pause. Can't really shoot that, but I'll hopefully get this figured out. The likelihood of this retiring as a match gun and moving towards more of a hunting and plinking role is pretty likely. That was the plan anyway, so
You just
not a
gotta
huge issue.
open it up. Something's got to be wrong with that trigger that you could solve pretty easily.
It could be the
Get
bad.
Savage to just mail you the part, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I know like Savage is so proud of their Acu trigger. I'm not a fan. This one isn't great. The one on the Impulse is not great either.
They're totally different mechanisms.
Right, but they're
The one
all
on that
under
one
the
is,
same name, which doesn't really say a lot. And the Impulse one is not interchangeable with the one on the 110, which would be more of the traditional one. But we'll get Adriel to bring me the trigger weight gauge to hunt camp. I'll see. What I'm measuring right now, it's already over 4 pounds, which is the specification maximum of this trigger, what it's supposed to do. Like,
But it's not resetting. Like I would like even during the show right now when one of us is talking, crack that thing open and take a look at it. It'll be a 5 30 seconds screw, maybe 2, and you'll be into it.
don't work on guns in front of my computers. That's a rule. This is not the gun repair station. Anyway,
Sounds like a
next.
silly rule.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Hey,
don't
you
want to
got-
smack
you got,
your screen
like-
or something.
Yeah, you've got us here as well. You got that side table right there. Sit, do it right there.
Do you know how much crap is on this table? I won't let you see that. And since Kyle stopped shooting for Loophole, I think I can bash on Loophole now. So this is for a friend of mine. So I have this set of Loophole Rifleman detachable rings. Rings are fine. It's pretty interesting. They're made in Singapore, which is I didn't know Singapore made like metal products and stuff. Looks normal, right? Put it on a Vortex scope. That's all right because the Vortex high mounts for 30 mil in the more valued category is like a see-through design, and he didn't like that. So anyway, I'm mounting a scope for a friend.
Nice.
Here's the problem. It gets you a provided Allen key. The manual doesn't tell you the torque specs. Red flag number 1. Website does tell you, but it says 26, which is a lot on the top caps. Red flag number 2.
That's
And then, okay, I was like, okay, Singapore. So there must be metric. Tried Allen key size number 3. It's too big. Try 2.5. It's too small. I was like, okay, Loophole's American company. We'll try again. So I think the ones I tried was a quarter, not a quarter, an eighth, which is too big, and 3/32 was too small. So in my whole toolbox,
Well,
I
3/32 smaller than a quarter.
No, sorry, six. Damn it,
Sure
must
that
be
9?
730. I think 7/32 is the one I'm missing. Anyway, but it's an odd in between size that I don't have one for.
Ah.
And so now I don't really have a
Is
way
it 9/64th?
It could be. I think you must be some kind of a 64th.
That's the one I hate the most because they use it and it's not in a lot of kits.
It's just not very common.
Standard size, but
I don't know why that's done.
'cause
Anyway,
they're an American company. You said it earlier. They're an American company, even though they have it made somewhere else. They have them make it to their specs.
right. Just learn from Vortex, use the torques. Pretty standard. Everyone uses
Some of their stuff does use it, but yeah, I can understand.
It's the value stuff.
On the torque specs, I did find, yes, with the Loophole, you got to look for it. You also got to be careful because they don't necessarily make it easy to determine two different torque specs between your caps and the ring.
The other one's called the retainer, which is a very odd way to say the clamps on the rail. But anyway, so I'm just gonna complain about it. Maybe it's a standard size, but I don't have it, and now I have to resort to the good old fashioned German spec of good and tight, as Adriel has mentioned before. So that drives me a little crazy. What else? Oh. your most important optics is built into your head. I did have them tested again after about 2 years, which is the standard uh, for my insurance policy, which is probably less frequently than you really should get them checked. But I guess I'm not still in the younger category, so that's considered as okay. I'm still getting a slow but consistent increase in astigmatism. That's kind of what.
Hmm.
First, my 2 years is up. Second, I'm starting to notice my night vision is going down, as in when I'm driving, street signs from further away doesn't look as clear, but as I'm approaching them, they become clear enough. I mean, I had an increase of zero point 0.5 of astigmatism on both sides, but ever since I became an adult, it seems that my nearsightedness has stopped growing, which is, I guess, a good thing. And a note to, I don't know, people with prescription lenses. I never figured out why it's called OS and OD, but I finally figured out S is for sinister, which is your left, because Latin, very fancy, and then dexter for your right. So there's your left and right. And apparently, tack sharp isn't the goal for an optometrist because apparently that will cause headaches. So I guess my life will never be as tech. Well, I don't remember how sharp my childhood vision was because I had prescription glasses since grade one. So I've gotten used to it.
God, you guys are all blind.
I know it's terrible, but again, the whole family lineup from my grandma to my youngest cousin, everyone have glasses. So I'm pretty sure I can't skip that one.
Fair.
I put some. Well, these are different. I used to have them in OD, but I put some Magpul Ranger plates on my LAR-15 pistol magazines.
Hmm.
I just found the bottom to be quite sharp, and this kind of cushions your hand a little bit.
For which gun,
And
though?
this is for
For your par.
the PAR, or it used to be the MVP, but that gun's
Why
gone.
wouldn't you couple them, though?
Because
Yeah.
I use the cross mag for these. These are
Oh,
more
okay.
for just range use or troubleshooting more than anything.
Okay. Yeah.
And a good tip on it is because Macro makes these in different sizes. For the 450 Bushmaster, I have them in matching FDE, and for the black guns, I have them in black.
Oh, nice.
Although for the 450, it's a 20 round body, so it's not like you're going to get those mixed up that often. And of course, Adriel was asking me how ready I was for hunting. For a 100-yard shot, I'm pretty ready. For a 200-yard shot, I'm not too sure. So I have prep. I went through an express case prep step, and washed all the brass, clean all the brass, size all the brass, trim all the brass, all the brass things. So I'm gonna load these back up. Since I have a trust issue with my firing pin, and I was using the Giant X large rifle primers,
Mhm.
and this, I guess, a lot of Glock people complain a lot about light strikes. I know of many Glock shooters that complain about the Scorp ammo from Czech,
Mhm.
and some do complain about the John X primers as well. I thought I have Remington primers, so I'm gonna prime the new ones with Remington primers, just in case there's gonna be a light strike. Maybe I have the more appropriate, more American thing. So
Federal would be the best if you could find
Federal would be the best. That's usually the softest and
Yeah.
most powerful, but that's not something I have.
Ah,
So
well.
I'll work with what we have, and maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll prime 5 round of them with one, and prime the other 5 with Remington, just in case there's a difference. I don't know.
Now you're
We'll
just
see.
adding variability to your
That's
testing.
true.
I mean, that's a no-no.
I-
You gotta commit to a thing.
I'm probably gonna shoot off the testing range rounds with the Giant X just to make sure.
Yep.
And if that goes well, I might load another batch just with the same recipe, everything the same.
Yeah.
But
That's
that's the thing. This particular rifle here, it's not particularly stable. There's the trigger problem. There's a problem with the light strike, and that's the issue where you think there is a problem, but the manufacturer tell you it's not a problem. So now where did the problem go? Kind of thing. So yeah, that's all fun. What about Adriel? What have you done this week in guns?
Thanksgiving weekend, went to my parents' place. Mostly did chores, because gotta. I did go bear hunting. Got a bear tag. Went looking for one, and I didn't see any. Didn't see any sign of them.
Sounds
Didn't
like
see
you
any of them.
didn't bait hard enough.
The oat field should have been enough bait.
More
But it
bait.
wasn't. But it wasn't. No, wasn't at all. I did see a bunch of deer. They like the oats. Maybe they're scaring the bears away.
Do you have any deer tags on you?
Yeah, but it's not season.
The
for
season
them.
is
Oh
not
yeah,
right.
yeah. I guess
November is not here.
They were pretty
November.
far. They were right around 400 to 500.
What you mean?
But-
You maple seed? You got this.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting from an elevated,
Meg.
basically like a guardhouse. I have a sandbag in there, and I have drops for the distance, and I have the distances all pre-laced out, printed on a piece of
Oh my
paper,
God.
laminated in there. So I
So
could have
it's-
made those hits.
Yeah.
It's a freaking sniper tower up there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Do you ever like practice for there in the summertime, preparing for winter? Like just to,
Yes.
I would expect. Yeah.
I'll put a couple targets out and shoot
Yeah.
them from.
What's the
Come up in the
largest
yard.
deer you saw?
I don't know.
Buckwise.
Oh, like this year? Oh no, I saw a couple of like a doe yearling and a doe and 2 yearlings. That's all I saw for deer. And as I was like walking through this oats field, I flushed a pheasant,
Oh.
a
You
male
didn't try
pheasant.
to blow up its head. Was the
I
300
had
wing
a
mag?
300 wing mag in my.
It's 300 wing mag, so that means you, just like the wing master, you shoot it at things with wings.
Oh boy!
That's literally don't use a cannon to kill a housefly kind of deal.
Yeah.
If you want chicken dinner, sounds like the cannon it is.
Well, the funny thing is, there's no pheasant release sites anywhere near there. So
Huh,
that pheasant
wild
actually
pheasant
had to,
then.
like had no. It had to have been released.
Ran away.
Had a last. Yeah, it ran really far. But yeah, that was interesting. I organized out my ammo. Look at it. It's so organized. And there's almost none on the floor. Almost.
Nice.
There is a bunch more over there, but it's on the shelf. So it's under control now. Yeah, every once in a while I gotta like resort that stuff because I get some new stuff. I've shot some of the old stuff, and yeah, it gets out of hand pretty quick.
Did you find any 308 brass yet so you can reload for your grand? So you don't have jams?
308 brass. I have 308 reload. I have 3 of those boxes are for 308. One's factory, one's Nork ammo, and one's reloads.
Nice.
I probably have 150 to 200 reloads.
That's
I got lots
gone
of
for
food.
one match though. You have more matches to shoot next year.
That's okay. Yeah. I guess I could be shooting the reloads for matches. Yeah, I could be doing that. And then someone emailed me off my website, and they're like, "Hey, we understand you get rid of guns, or take unwanted guns. Dude,
We make
got
old
some.
guns disappear.
We're moving. When they had a pal, they had them legally. They're just moving, and they didn't want to move with them. They hadn't really shot them a lot, so I was zipped on down, and they had talked to a gun shop as well. So I'm like, ooh, okay. Well, I want those. So I drove over there like ASAP and took a look. Offered him a price. So not for free. That's initially what they talked about, but since there was another gun shop talking to him, I just wanted to give them a price where they'd say yes.
Goodwill price.
Yeah. And here's what I got. So here's one of the guns. This is just a Mark II.
Yeah.
Just a
Nice basic. Looks very new though. Looks factory new.
If it's been used, I can't tell. There's no ring marks on it.
Yeah,
And this one doesn't have sights. So
It looks like it came right off the shelf. Like
it doesn't have sights.
no, like there's just the dovetail.
There's the dovetail.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no.
it. Yeah, there's no sights on it. It does have a threaded muzzle on it.
Oh, so it's a newer one then. It's a SR model then. Interesting.
Is that what this is? SR? It's not an F model?
It could be a FSR, but usually they denote
Oh, yeah.
suppressor ready. That's how they
Yeah.
say it. But
Yeah.
Canada, we don't care.
Yeah,
It's ready for it. We just don't have suppressors.
Continuing on with the rimfire, 93R.
Ooh,
Nice.
very
That's-
fancy. I
oh,
like
that's
the
so much nicer.
forest green laminated stock. It's very
Yeah.
Me too.
fancy.
I have one just like this, except it doesn't have flutes
Ooh,
on the
I was
on
gonna
the
say,
barrel.
fluted stainless barrel. That's really pretty.
My version of this that I have just over here is sub MOA at 100 with 17 HMR, like
Yeah.
reliably sub MOA.
That's
Some of them
good.
will be like half of an inch in a group. It's crazy seeing these teeny tiny little dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, super duper accurate. And then
He is surrounded
This-
by guns.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. This is the Stevens 555. It's a Turkish shotgun. It's a Turkish over-outer, right? The case with the chokes that it came with is the same as the Turkish ones that everyone, like
That's
all
funny.
the Turkish
Oh,
shotguns
yeah,
have
that's
this
the-
exact same case.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you should keep this one and sell Dustin the other one.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, I mean, this one is quite a bit lighter than the other one.
Oh.
This
I remember
one's
this one having
6.12 pounds. The other one's 7.4. It's more than a pound lighter.
I
Wow.
remember the Stevens had an aluminum receiver. I could be wrong, but I think that's correct.
That was what it looks like. Yep. But very lightweight.
Nice.
And it came with 5 chokes. 5 chokes.
That's pretty standard for a Turk gun, yeah.
Yeah, for an over-under. Yeah. A lot of the Turk guns will just come with 3. They won't have like the improved mod. They'll have like a full mod and improved cylinder. But this one had, I don't know, lots in there. And then this Savage 11 Scout. So this one's got the adjustable cheek rest. It's got the
Is that a
10-round mag.
factory cheek rest or is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think this gun. I'm not sure if it was used either.
Really?
I can't see any ring marks on the rail. Okay, it might have been.
It does
shot
have
with-
iron sights.
It does have iron sights. So maybe it was shot with the iron sights.
Were they like
Um,
newer PAL holders?
The 11 is pretty old gun.
I'll
though.
tell you the story afterwards. But
Yeah.
they just didn't shoot them. They got them because to have them kind of a thing, but they just didn't really shoot them. The 10-round mag is kind of neat. It's a
Nice.
compact little mag.
But it's not AICS magazine compatible. That's
No,
unfortunate.
it's the Savage one. That guy right there. Nice, decent sized bolt handle on there. Yeah, Dustin, you were looking for a Mossberg with the threaded barrel on it, right? This one's threaded. It's got a stupid brake on there right now.
I have a Mossberg. I was looking for the Ruger. I want the Ruger Ranch.
Oh
in
yeah,
56.
Ruger. Yeah.
I have a Mossberg 308 with the threaded muzzles. So.
Yeah. And
This will be a competitor, very similar.
Yeah.
You have for the listener, you have the older style 110 Scout forward mount, and I think for the Magpul Scouts, the later models, they have the full length rail instead. So you have it over the which quote unquote blocks your stripper clip access, but I don't think this guy have a stripper clip guide anyway.
no stripper clip. I don't like the forward scope mount. I think it's solving a problem that doesn't exist.
Well, and doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
Jeff Cooper was a big fan of it.
Jeff Cooper invented it in the 70s or the 60s or something like that. Something not applicable to our current day and age.
Right.
Get out
That
PBO,
rail should be
you'll be
here,
fine.
so you can use a normal scope on it, a good scope on it, and you shouldn't have backup iron sights. My opinion.
Back to iron sights, I like them.
What's this? What?
That-
Sling's
that-
dead there.
What is
Ching
that
sling?
there?
Is it for a ching sling?
I would imagine it would be. I think this gun is probably built to Colonel Jeff Cooper's spec.
Do they allocate for like some weird 3-point sling that's got like a sling stud in the middle of nowhere?
That's weird.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe.
Jeff is that kind of a person. He is the innovator in the sense.
Yeah. The gun's cool. It's nice and light, and look at that butt pad on there. Like it's got the
Stackable.
it's got the stackable shims in there, and it's got like a pretty nice soft butt pad on there, which would be
That's
good. It's a light gun.
That's another complaint I have against my Impulse.
Is it?
have adjustable shims for the butt pad, but it's not stackable. So mine is at the standard config, which is 13.75, I think. It's still a little short for me. So
Anyways, got a bunch of guns for cheap. I got a gun safe and
Oh, good gun safe.
things.
That's
I
always.
don't
a
need
nice
gun safes.
feature.
Look where I am.
Oh,
He's in
he's
the gun
sitting
safe.
in the gun safe right now.
That's fair. Yeah, rub that in every time you can.
You know you can do it.
I
Just
know.
have to be determined. I got a question for Kyle. So this I wanted to ask you about this after the Peace River match, but I forgot or something like that. I want to upgrade my shell caddy. I'm using these ones.
Alibaba
special.
Invictus, right?
The FMA, Alibaba Invictus ones. I'm not that poor. I can afford something a little bit better, but I don't want to spend $600 on a shell caddy. What should I get?
Our guest Carbon Arms, I think they're shipping internationally now.
I saw you put that on there, so I actually, if I were to get, I would encourage you to go Gucci style.
Gucci
Okay.
style.
And for that,
I don't want to get TACOM or something like that. I want something that's good.
For those who haven't listened when I've talked about caddies, Gucci style is like they're holding with magnets. They have the springs on them for adjusting.
Oh, that's a brand name?
No, I was saying Gucci style.
Give us some
And
names.
so I would actually look at Briley's. I would
Do
look
they
at
have
So they
dealers in
sell.
Canada?
That's a good question.
I don't know, but I've talked to them in the past. I got a barrel, or not a barrel nut, a shotgun magazine tube nut from them, and I called and talked to them, and they were okay with shipping it to Canada because it was a non-serialized part. They don't advertise it on the website, and it is a little challenging, but if you call them and talk to them, you can get stuff done.
Shipping, blah, blah, blah. International duties. This will be added. Magazine extensions, NA.
Yeah. So I would look at the Briley ones. As far as the Gucci style, I think they're among, if not the cheapest, and like they're cheaper than Magload by a good margin.
Oh, they've got Calgary
like
Shooting Center Shakes their stuff.
Yeah. So this 12-round caddy on their website's $130 US.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it looks like about $10 per round for
roughly about for per stack. About $10 per round. They hold extremely well. They do cup the bottom of the shell a little bit, but they got sizes from 8 all the way up to 32. Yeah, you got pulled it up there. So I mean, $90 for the 8-round. Carbon Arms is cheaper, but that's that clipping around the side. So if you're on a budget, yes, for the budget plastic, just I don't know how you would describe
I
them.
want something better. I want one of the springy ones.
The Carbon Arms is good, but if you want like the Gucci style, then I think I've been super impressed with the Brileys. I don't like the Kings because those springs are outboard.
Springs are everywhere. Yeah,
they're outboard, so they're not as compact.
I wonder if I can fit one of those in the front. 28 seems like the most I'd ever need on a stage.
Well,
until like crack out the chest.
Yeah, like right? I mean, like there's the 28 right there.
Okay. After the show, could you measure that side to side for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, Briley, understood. Done. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
This weekend coming up, I've got a PAL course. I got PALs the weekend after, and I have the Tabor Pheasant Festival in between. That'll be next week. I won't be able to make it to the show because I'll be driving. Probably driving. Yeah, probably driving on my way back from there. I've been just kind of looking at what I'm going to take. Now that I weighed that Stevens 555, I'm like, do I bring that instead? It's
just bring that instead.
It's 1.3 pounds lighter, but it doesn't have a fiber optic front sight. It's got a brass bead. It doesn't it's not as
like
nice
tradition,
as a shotgun, but it's lighter, considerably lighter. Maybe I gotta.
Dustin's
muted,
on
Dustin.
Dustin, you're muted.
I don't have any complaints about a heavier shotgun. Just saying, you know.
I'll walk around with one for 6 hours in the field, and
Yeah.
eventually that pound will be like.
I
noticeable.
I have humped around some heavy guns out in the bush all day.
I usually have a sling, so if I'm hunting in a place where like, oh, there's no birds here,
Can
like,
you
oh, I'll
not
just
have a sling on the shotgun?
like neither of them have sling studs on them,
What?
so I'd have to put them on, and I don't.
Sounds like you
don't
need to
have
shoulder
to.
carry that thing.
I was gonna say, just crack it open, put it over the shoulder. That's
Yeah.
the fun of that, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you get to do the gentlemanly carrying of the shotgun. That's my favorite part about guns like that.
I can balance it on my shoulder and like take a leak at the same time. Like it'll just sit there. But
Yeah.
I'll probably bring the heavy one just because it's got the fiber optic front sight, and I can't go back.
Learn
to
the
anything
Tony
else.
method.
And you know,
bring
better-
both. And if you got tired of one in the morning, you put the other one on.
I have 2 days of hunting. I'm just gonna bring one. I'm not.
And
Gonna...
well, I would prefer you use that one anyways, so that it's like good and used for when you decide to get rid of it.
Sell it
just,
to you.
Yeah.
Well, I
Or-
was actually talking to Trevor, and he was like, "Oh, I'm buying that Stevens off of you." Just showing you a picture. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at other things I need to pack, so I'm gonna pack my orange vest, a set of clothes. I'm packing something a little bit special for this one: gaiters, and not just any gaiters, like really tough nylon gaiters.
Good.
Because last time we went there and we were hunting in these like short shrubby fields, and there's lots of little like prickly plants and that kind of thing, and they shred the shit out of your pants and they catch on everything. So like a nylon gaiter is going to keep my my lower legs from getting all caught up or wet from the dew in the morning, because the plants and everything are wet. Gets your pants wet, gets your socks wet, gets your feet wet.
Miserable.
Yeah. So I'm going to do the gaiters. That's going to be my like special thing I'm packing along. Everything else is going to be standard. I'm bringing along some hefty boys. Like I showed you guys this earlier. Some ye old Imperial 12 gauge. Oh, when am I going to use it otherwise, right? I got this from
range time.
From an estate. Yeah. And for pheasant, you can use lead. So I'm going to use lead number 4. And I got some 2 3/4, or I got some 3-inch Magnum with the high brass.
That's one of the tallest brass I've ever seen.
Yeah, short of like the actual just full brass cartridges, that's
yeah. And that's got 1 7/8 of shot in there. Normal for our listeners, normal in a shot in a 12 gauge is gonna be like 1 1/8 or 1 1/4 at most. 1 7/8 is spicy. Yep. Yeah. That's a 3-inch, right?
Yeah,
I suppose I could run the 3.5-inch and like some BB or something like that. But God, if I ever connect, it's just
gonna shoot turkey low into the sky or something.
Yeah. Well, BB would be good
super
for
shot.
Like steel BB would be good for geese and that kind of thing. It'll do it on pheasant too, but it'll shred the meat, and I don't really want to shred the meat.
Yeah.
I don't really want to run steel either. And for some people, that might be counterintuitive. They might be like, well, steel's not toxic, right? But if you ever bite into waterfowl and you bite into a steel pellet, like you can, it hurts. You could break a tooth doing that if you're not careful. Whereas lead, it'll bend a bit more, and
it'll make you dumber.
Just over time. It's just
can't get that much dumber.
You don't swallow it.
Yeah, and even if you swallowed, I think it probably wouldn't do anything. It'd probably be out of you so soon that it just doesn't have time to dissolve.
Yeah,
1 pellet probably be fine.
I guess it's not lead mist.
It's not lead mist, and like
geese,
like the reason why we're not using these anymore for ducks and geese is for ducks and geese, like they put it in their gizzard and they actively use it to grind down plants. And now that is going to get that lead into their bloodstream, right? Grinding it down, getting into small pieces in their digestive tract where it's like really going to do it. So anyways, that's why I'm going with lead number 4 instead of like steel number 2 or steel number 1 or BB or something like that. That would give me a little bit more flexibility or non-toxicity.
Smart.
I value my teeth more than the toxicity. I think that's about it. Like hunt cap's coming up pretty quick here. Yeah, but I think it's going to be a great time.
Awesome.
Kyle, what about you?
Well, I wasn't on last week, and that's because I was driving to the other side of the country. I just picked up the guys in Atlanta, and we're making our way. And man, that truck was full. I was lucky. I actually emptied one of the top boxes. I mean, you guys have seen pictures of the Jeep, and I actually emptied one of the top boxes to put stuff. So we filled that, filled under the canopy, like completely, and then the back seat, the guys in the back seat had stuff all over them.
Carrying the bag on top of them.
It was rough for that evening drive to our house. So, but it was still no one complained or at all. The guys were absolutely awesome. Like, just tried to do what we could do. So there's some learnings there and try and figure out how to better do stuff. But
scrappy trip is where it makes it fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. So. Yeah, no, it was the whole trip was an absolute riot. Like, Craig, Luke, Corey, those guys were great. I'll share a house with them. I mean, I shoot with Craig all the time. He's my travel buddy pretty much. So, but yeah, the other two, like, I mean, we had a great time. It was they really lightened things up, and yeah, it was really good. But getting onto the match, so we shot Memorial 3-gun, which is out North Carolina. I've been wanting to shoot that for a number of years, and finally just made it happen. And this was the 8th annual one, and it's a special match. So it's basically a charity match, charity / memorial match. So every stage is they put up a bio. So every year they pick 10 people who used to be service members and have since passed. And so every stage memorializes one of these people. And they have at the start of the stage, before you even get your stage brief, your 5-minute walkthrough, anything, is you go through and they read the bio, tell them about their accomplishments, their life, what they were like, and then you do a moment of silence. So that's
super cool.
It is. It's very cool. Sometimes it can be a little rough. Like, okay, now I gotta go shoot a stage with this.
All the emotion, it's so heavy.
Yeah, exactly. So some of them, I mean, as with anything, some of them hit a little harder than others, but overall, I mean, it's a great cause, and the way they pull it off is absolutely incredible. One of the things I've always said and tried to do when I was at Wapiti, and I just don't see it, especially down here, is matches becoming events. They're just matches. People show up, cool. The way they've done it, it is an event. There are the side stages, the vendors, just the tents to hang out in. They made this an event, and it was a half-day format, but especially if the weather was better. We had a tropical storm just off the coast pretty much the whole time that we were shooting, but you didn't really want to leave the range. You wanted to stay, hang out, check out the vendors, go check out some side stages. So they did a very good job, or they do a very good job of making it an event. And I think, if I remember correctly, they've raised over $200 million for fallen service members' families. So, and like they call them the Gold Star families, and they bring them out, and they offer them to come to the match. So there was a few families out there watching the match, and I believe a few of them even shot. So yeah, and then like there's a big ceremony at awards Sunday night. So that's Memorial 3-gun. That's what it's all about. They do an incredible job of doing it, of pulling that off, making sure that is, yes, we're there to shoot a match, but that is the focus. Now onto the match. My first day, we got there Wednesday night. We got there like a little bit late, but I mean, we had all day Thursday. So got up, went to the range, did some zeroing, confirmed zeroed a couple guns, and then went to walk stages. Walking stages was was busy. Like every stage that we went on, it was crowded, and it happens from time to time at matches, but it just, yep. I mean, there was a lot of people there, and so yeah, it did make it a little bit tough, but was still able to put together some good stage plans. Had some good conversations with our guest AJ on the stage, and guest coming up Adam Reiser, and just a bunch of people. It's like any match, it's always good seeing the buddies at the match and catching up a little bit. But then we shot Friday afternoon was our first stage. We shot 3 stages, and the weather Friday was decent. Like, it was overcast, a little cooler. Actually, really, in my mind, it was like perfect weather. It wasn't super windy. It was, mid 70s. So it was awesome weather. And yeah, it went decent. Like, I mean, nothing smoking, but I couldn't complain about my performance. It was average. It was decent. No major train wrecks, and like really not much notable from the stages on Friday. But then, because they had seen that the tropical storm was coming up, they bumped up the shoot off a day early, because it was supposed to be Saturday night. It's a side stage, and I was still hemming and hawing if I was going to even try out for it. And so I was thinking, okay, well, Saturday, I'll make up my mind Saturday. I'll try and qualify Saturday afternoon. We were on our last stage, and we got told, hey, they're doing qualifiers, like opens full, TAC Ops still looking for people. They're doing it. And okay, whatever. And apparently my phone didn't update email to see that, no, they had moved it up to, it was going to be Friday night. And I'm glad I did. I asked the RO, said, hey, they're still doing it tomorrow, right? He's like, no, they're not. I was like, oh, okay, well, they're shutting down in less than an hour. I got to get over there. I didn't think I'd have to put down like a perfect run for me to get in there in my mind. And so I was like, I still would be disappointed if I didn't try. And so I went, and they ended up letting me go. They had already shut down qualifying, but they let me go. And it was just before they were starting up the actual shoot off, because they do it shoot off under the lights. Laid down a decent run. Shotgun went good. Pistol, I was thrilled with how the pistol went. But rifle is just a few too many makeup shots, and I actually missed qualifying for the shoot off by a couple seconds.
That's unfortunate.
So I was close, and kicked myself a little bit because, well, I just want to do better, but do good. But yeah, I really with a bunch of people still already gathering, watching me do my qualifying run, and I was actually quite happy with the performance, and the fact that I didn't let that actually get into my head, because I was like, oh great, now I'm gonna have to perform in front of people on a qualifying run. And once I got up there, I was something I'm getting better at is I was able to block that right out, and it's just me shooting. So yeah, going into Saturday, sorry, a little bit of weather. We started off on shotgun bush run. Started off good. I figured, looking at the stage, it was one of those stages where if you were going to put down a good time, you had to stay moving. There was no stopping. You had to stay moving, because at the end there was like 2 spots where you were going to stop. But before those 2 spots, you could not stop. You had to stay moving. And for the most part, I did. Just before the second last position, I did stop for a little bit. And then they had a double shotgun spinner in the second last position. And then they gave a couple targets, so you had something to do in between spinning. I didn't go for the hero move, which was hit both spinners, take a side one, hit both spinners, take another side one. I did them one at a time and got them in 3. So I was able to hit spinner, side, spinner, side, spinner over, and then do it on the opposite side and just get them done. And then moving into the last position, they had it set up good, because they had a clay off to the right behind a tree, and there was a slug target at the end too, strewed in with like 8 steel. So then that with that one, like to play, okay, do you load up, get rid of everything, and then load slugs right at the end, or what I had decided to do was I was going to load, so I had made sure I had at least eight rounds in the tube, and then my next load was going to be slugs. So then I'd burn the birdshot in the barrel on the clay behind the tree, because if that happens to be a slug, you're okay.
Oh, okay.
And then take that. That's why they usually put clays around slug targets, is to give you something to burn on if by chance there's a slug in there, because you're not going to get penalized for it, and you're not going to chance destroying steel or hurting somebody.
Right.
And then take the slugs, and then my steel, and stage done. It's interesting you're talking about high brass earlier, because high brass saved me on this stage.
How does that work?
So I should have brought him out, but I don't mess around with grabbing 2, grabbing 4, and changing up my grab. So,
it felt different in your hand.
So part of my load was half of it was birdshot, half of it was slug. And I guess right before the run or something changed, or just when I was loading my caddies, my mind just went, woohoo, and whatever, because I got down, grabbed off one of my 12 round caddies, loaded a quad of bird, went over to my special caddy that basically that holds if I have slugs on a stage, they're on that caddy. Grabbed a quad, threw the first one, and started coming back to throw the second throw, and I happened to look down and saw a high brass.
Ooh.
And I'm like,
Spicy boys.
oh shit, my load is screwed. So dropped those 2 shells, and it was also good because I had just it had started to fumble a bit, so my mind was out, and I had forgotten about the clay on the right, so I instantly took 1.5 steps back, got the clay, ran forward, and got the slug. And at this time I'm thinking, I'm pretty darn sure I don't have 8 rounds in the tube. So it was broken up. There was 4 on the left, 4 on the right. Took the 4 on the left, threw a quad, hit 4 on the right, and finished the stage. And I think I racked out 2 or 3 rounds. So ended up being a decent. I think actually that was my second best stage. I think I got an 8th place finish on that, even with the bobble at the end, because it started falling apart at the end, but got out of it safe. And yeah, like high brass saved me, because it was also federal, and I don't like doing this, but it's what we had. So they were both red hulls. So the only distinguishing thing was the high brass.
Well, I've seen some Challenger slugs that people are using, and it looks just like
exactly the same.
Exactly like their target load.
Oh yeah.
You have to look at the end.
You look at the front,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't run that. I run Score for the
target ones.
Because they're colorful. They're like orange and purple
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, and like I've noticed that, like they're the same color, because I don't usually use federal birdshot. So, but that I had a flat of federal birdshot, so okay, well, I don't have to buy birdshot. I'll use this for the match, and yeah, they both ended up being red, and only distinguishing was high brass. But yeah, so that stage got salvaged. Stage 9, that one was where the wheels started coming off. So on that one, they had throughout the match these orange option targets. They were distance, like pistol, and I guess to start off with, most of the stages were like 3-Gun Nation style, like a ton of optional targets. Like a lot of the stages where paper was rifle, shotgun, slug, pistol, steel was birdshot, pistol, like so many option targets throughout the match. Very few were actually dictated, okay, this is what you shoot at this. So it started off, you had 3 of these orange steel out in the bush. I don't know, I want to say maybe 50 to 75 yards out. And I might be exaggerating on that bit, but you had to stay on this. You had to stay at least 1 foot touching this red stick. Like, okay. Well, stick, X's, this red bar that they put down. And so, okay, decided to go right to left because if I take a step, I can get past this tree, see that orange, I can come around on all three, and then I'm set up on the proper side of my body for the paper for the rest of the rifle portion of the bush run. Well, apparently, when I stepped forward, made sure I stepped forward with 1 foot, but I guess I pivoted on my right just enough that my heel came off the red mark. So I had 3 procedurals at 5 seconds apiece on that.
Oh.
So that didn't bode well. Got through the rifle and picked up shotgun. There's a couple steel to the right, clay to the left. A steel 3 yards away. And so I hit the 2 steel on the right, came down, shot. I was sure I saw clay. It was probably the clay on the ground below it that just sprayed up, because I was sure I got it, and continued on. Turns out, no, I didn't actually get that clay. So now there was a missed target at 7.5 seconds. Or no, that one would have been 5 seconds. Because I engaged it.
So you're into it for 20.
Yeah, into it for 20 seconds on that. And, get through the rest of it half decently. Like, the rest of it felt decent, get to the end. And there was 2 orange targets off to either side. I want to say they were roughly about 50 yards away. Bigger one to the left, smaller one to the right. Come up, got the first round hit. Cool. That's awesome. And then they had wide open paper on either side and then partial no shoot. So get through the array, go on the right steel. That one took a few more rounds than I wanted. Actually, talking with AJ, sounds like we might have taken the same amount of shots on that target, which makes me feel a little bit better. But then I ended up having a failure to neutralize on one of those targets. Wasn't a no-shoot, but failure to neutralize on one of those no-shoot targets. So yeah, I was into it for 22.5 seconds of penalties. So yeah, that hurt. Then we moved on to this, what we were, the tower. So basically it's a 4-level if you count the ground tower. They dub it the sniper tower. I think they actually go up to 1,000 yards on it. But first level, you had pistol, and like they liked the long pistol shots. I want to say they were out 75 yards, and then you had down on the ground. So you're up probably 20 feet at this point. Maybe no. You're up probably about 10, 15 feet, not 20 feet. And so they had the plate rack and a bunch of falling steel there, and then 3 distance steel for pistol. Distance steel went decent. They were big enough plates, went decent. And for some reason, I got to that plate rack. Like, even the knockdowns went good. Got to the plate rack, and I used, I think, 1.5 meg on a 6-round plate rack. And finally, I was breaking a shot. Like, I got to get going, because this time's out at 180. I got to get going. Broke the shot. Plate falls. Dumped my pistol. So these stairs going up this are, like, super steep. And they are not standard, gap or inboard or whatever. And they're expanded metal. And so the whole time during walkthroughs, okay, how hard am I going to push? Because normally that stuff, I would skip like 2-3 steps. I'd get up there like extremely fast. I'm like, it's wet. There's those going on. Because it's just that this time it's rain's starting to pick up and wind's starting to pick up. I ended up I'm go with it. Didn't go anything crazy, but I think I did skip like 2-3 steps, and I got up this flight of stairs in like 3 or 4 strides. Grabbed my shotgun, and basically you had two poppers that activated throwers from the second and top level, the 3rd level, and then a bunch of standing steel. So it was actually really cool, the timing. You could hit a popper and get like 3 or 4 of the steel easily before that clay was out and you were shooting it. So yeah, that one was easy and quick to get through. Dumped the shotgun, went up to the rifle, got my position. We were shooting out the side, so you were kind of off the side of a handrail, still shooting down range out past 500. I think it was like 560 yards was the furthest target. And so there's four stationary targets, and then a 3-round plate rack. I think that was at right around 300 yards. And built a decent position, got in there, and actually rifle went pretty decent. I got hung up on the plate rack a little bit, but the rest of it went really good. Like the second last target had a few makeups on there, but then the 560 was first round hit. So yeah, that one went good. And then last stage of the day, that was stage 6. So we had five slug targets, 5 distance off the hood of a car, and then ended up, well, this one was options as well, but ended up doing all the paper with pistol because it just seemed like it was going to be faster. Got the slugs. I think I had a few makeups on slugs, but got all the slugs. Rifle went a little bit longer than I wanted, but still got them all, and then got to the pistol, and it went decent. I was pretty happy. I was following with what I wanted up until, well, to one point where I was going to take a partial no shoot target, and then you could see a distance paper there, which was saved a hard lean or an easy forgettable target for last target at the front. And for some reason I went in there, hit the partial, and continued on. And because it wasn't in my plan, it was never in my plan to hit it from that position, I ended up with an FTE on that stage. Watching the video, I'm like, how did I mess that up? I thought, oh, okay, well, I was talking with AJ a little bit because AJ was coming for his afternoon shoot when we were shooting it. And then I watched the video. Oh, no, that's because I was going to shoot it there. So, yeah, that ended my Saturday. Sunday started out. It was rainy. Storm was pretty much fully in, and we had the plane stage. So they have like a 727, because this whole place takes place on the Griffin Group training grounds. And so they have this 727 out on this old runway or old tarmac, and so they had like your classic like shotgun style stage there that had, I don't know, like 30 targets or something. Propeller plate rack that they had set up so that the one actually spins and you had to shoot the activator before shooting any of the targets. And then you ran up into the plane to shoot your rifle. Rifle was actually, they were actually quite nice. They kept it right around 300 yards. So pretty much all the rifle targets were dead hold for me. And then you had some pistol steel, same thing, long range pistol steel, and then a plate rack, I want to say, about 30 yards. And so shotgun went decent. I had one steel in my second position that didn't want to go down. Got it down. Got recovered. Last position had 3 poppers with 3 toasters. Got in position, hit the first two poppers. And I did miss one of the clays. And I miscounted my shells. So I shot the popper. Clay goes up. I felt the bolt, thinking, oh crap. Reached up for the match saver and got the clay 6 inches off the ground.
Oh, there you go. Man, every time I tried
Nice.
using the match saver at Peace River, I ended up throwing it on the ground.
And then took the sprint and ran up the stairs into the back of the plane. For some reason, like they had another plate rack at 80 yards, had a few makeups on that, but then I think I had 1 or 2 makeups on the rifle steel, the long range, the 300-yard rifle steel, and then pistol. Pistol was going great up until the last plate rack, where I think I had like 3 makeups that, like, for some reason I just got stuck on that last plate, and but that ended up being my best stage of the match.
Nice.
So I got a 5th place finish on that in my division, and so. Yeah, and then next stage was the longest target of the match. It was a 701-yard target out of the back of an ambulance. So they had an ambulance body there, and so you were shooting out the back of it. This stage surprisingly was not my worst stage, because I shot it, that 700-yard target. It was a car hood. Like, it was massive.
Ah.
Every other target nailed. Like, my long range shooting was much better this match, but I still don't like how long it takes me to get onto targets or find them. Like, this match was hard because half the time I had a hard time seeing out the scope. But yeah, few makeups on that rifle hood. I don't know if it was just my dope was off or what, but yeah, it was a car hood. Got it. Ran out, and their pistol was staged outside of the ambulance. Grabbed it, racked the slide, going to the side, and I start slowing down, going into the paper, and all I see out the bottom vision is my caddy come off my Velcro belt and dump on the ground.
Oh no.
I had a plan where I needed to load 12 rounds. Just to finish the stage. I needed to, just for my plan. Luckily, it was an option plan. But what we figured was the best plan, I needed to load 12 rounds. Well, I did briefly think for half a second about picking that up and trying to grab a couple shells. I didn't do that. Decided, okay, the steel down there I can take with pistol. I did bring enough pistol rounds. I can take that. So finished the paper, took the 6 knockdown steel with pistol. So yeah, plan completely changed on the fly. Dumped the pistol, grabbed the shotgun, and I wish I had been thinking more, because there was a way to do this without loading on my shotgun, including my match saver, including using my match saver. But anyways, dropped my pistol, grabbed my shotgun. There was like 6 clays off the right, 2 poppers with 3 throwers. So I go, and I'm not going speedy because I'm trying to make rounds count. So I go through the clays, hit 1 popper, get the clay, hit another popper. I think I missed that clay, loaded the stage saver, shot a popper, I believe is how it went. Popper didn't go down, and then that clay, I was out. Like, it was funny because the RO was looking at me, I'm like, I don't have caddies. But thinking about it, like, after, one of the activators was forward falling, and it happened to be the activator I shot first. So I think that I had enough time, because the forward falling poppers were so slow, to shoot that popper with my pistol, dump my pistol, grab my shotgun, go for the aerial.
Oh, that would have been cool.
I wish I had thought of that, and then I would have had enough rounds so at least every target was engaged.
Still, I mean, for like on the fly, problem solving, that's still.
So I was able to salvage something out of that. I think I think I ended up with 12 seconds of penalties on that, because I had a miss because target didn't fall, and then missed, or a failure to engage on a target. So I was able to salvage something out of it. And then the last stage, I'm sorry, I am going on quite a bit on this, but it was a big match, and it was really cool. The stages were awesome. But the last stage was another 3-gun stage. This one was not optional. You had shotgun, had slug target, bunch of clays and steel, and then a shotgun spinner that was incredibly close. Had a bunch of rifle paper, and then you had a rifle spinner that was probably about 50 yards. And then you ran to the trailer, and it was being towed by a truck. And you had 12 steel and then a pistol spinner. The pistol spinner was at the end with the truck stopped, thankfully. But yeah, so for some reason I dropped the slugs. Yeah, didn't get my slug target, but the rest of that went good. 2-shotted the spinner, went to the rifle. Rifle spinner took a little bit longer, but got that. Got on pistol. I think at the end of it, like I had 3 targets that I didn't hit, 3 misses on the static steel, and then I never did get the pistol spinner. I called time. I didn't want to time out, but just called time, and it was tough. There was a lot of people having issues with it. You needed 147s and you need to be aggressive with them. And so that stage cost me huge because it was 30 seconds just for not spinning the spinner.
Oh,
And
brutal.
yeah, so that one ended up being the worst stage of the match. But yeah, anyways, super cool match. I see, Dustin, you need to go, so I will cut to the end of mine and then come back for the other stuff because I think you'll really like my last thing that I was going to talk about. But I got a new game. I took the plunge and I decided to get
Yes, you
my-
did.
Nice.
nice.
Love it.
so I got the Ace gun, the Terran Tactical Sand Viper handset,
Nice.
and then I did get the MetaQuest 3. Holy cow, these have weight.
Weight
Yeah.
to them.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And
Nice zapper. Yep.
they are, it's super cool. Like obviously your trigger, but you actually calibrate it in the game for your take up and where you want to break. It actually has a tab that
Whoa.
hits for your reload.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
awesome.
And then for your reloads, yep, okay, mag drops. You tap the bottom to load in a new mag.
I love it.
Cool.
So I know we have listeners that have this and are not surprised, but so last night it arrived while I was in North Carolina. So got home yesterday. Obviously pulled it out and tried it out a little bit with what battery I had on the thing. The graphics on the gun is incredible. The mechanics, like it seems pretty darn close to real life. And I do think it will be a valuable training tool. And yeah, I'm gonna have to do something with grip because with the plastic and that, just sweaty hands, I'm gonna have to put some grip tape or something on there just to get some good grip. But yeah, so I took the plunge, and so that'll be my integral part to my winter training.
I'm
That's
so
super cool.
curious to hear how you like it in a couple of months.
Yeah.
That's
After I've
the
been
thing
using it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been super curious about getting that. I've stared at it a few times, but yeah, I gotta run. I gotta meet Richard. Sorry to duck out early, but see you guys next week, except for you, Adriel. But
Sounds good.
take care.
Okay.
All right, later.
Bye.
There, Dustin. But yeah, so match, I think basically, the long range, time on the long range, and my pistol cost me, again, shotgun cost me a little bit on the slugs, but the shotgun shooting, it didn't cost me anything. That it was basically pistol steel and rifle getting on it.
Time to do another maple seed.
Yeah.
They have apple
Yeah.
seeds down there, right?
Yeah. The around, yeah, not any really close to me.
You're kind of
But yeah, so I'm gonna probably invest in a Briley belt, give that a go for the Velcro shotgun belt. But yeah, I pulled a gift certificate. So the prize table, they do it the same as nationals, where you get a random bag, and then if you're in the top 25%, you get to go walk another table. Didn't get into the top 25%. Actually stayed right at my average percentage, which that plateau that I've been stuck on. So looking to break through that in the wintertime here. But the random bags, I gotta stay.
Sounds like from this match it was errors, right? It wasn't necessarily like foot movement speed or shooting speed. It was just like errors and
errors.
and
I do gotta get
that.
cleaner on the long range because makeup shots cost time.
Mhm.
But yeah. So, but yeah, the prize table, it was mixed. Like there was some stacked bags, and then like Craig's bag wasn't really that stacked. But I apparently ended up getting one of the stacked bags. So I mean, there was a Streamlight TLR9 in there.
Nice.
Some of these Vortex, what do they call? Oh, range point shooting glasses. Or
Oh,
headphone
nice.
cord.
Those are the new ones. Yeah, that's the safety
So-
glasses. I don't know if they are. You can make prescription onto them. I know there's like I did some research on it,
Yeah.
but the more curved the frame is, the less prescription apparently you can make on them. So
It
there's
does
like a
make
limit
sense.
to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But I think my wife has claimed these. So I kind of told her if she wants them, go for it.
It's part of the Vortex thing. You can wreck them, and then they will send you a new pair. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I already mentioned like $150 Briley gift certificate,
Oh,
25% off Real Avid. But then there was one item in there, and at the time I did not think anything of it. I don't know if you guys are Tactical Timmies or know of it, but I'm gonna put this up here. So these are the massive Seneca Arctic pant. They are massive on me because they're extra large.
That's the funny thing. Like,
What are they? Pants, jacket, shirt?
They're pants. So like they're an Arctic pant. And I'm gonna do a screen share because I got the website up here. But I want keep in mind they are flame resistant. You have any guesses on how much these pants are?
flame resistant. Oh
So-
my God.
Normally, if you just showed me a pair of like camo pants, I would say $40 to $80.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess $300.
But the fact that you're waiting for the drop here is must be a lot more.
Whoa!
Yeah, so these,
And that's in US.
That's in US. So these Seneca Arctic pants, yeah, they on their website are just over $900 US.
Well, if they're too big for you, I'll take them.
So I'm gonna email the company and see. I know Luke said if I get the right size, he would buy them off of me. I might find something on the site that, because I'm in New Mexico, I don't need an Arctic pant even if they fit.
You don't need one that's flame retardant. So when
Flame
drones are
retardant. If they
dropping
were like
grenades
rain
on
pants,
you-
yeah, I could use them at work.
It's
during
like
monsoon
literally
season, but
you're in the Arctics and you had a campfire incident and you lit your pants on fire. That's the
No,
only use case I can think of.
it's for when the drones drop grenades on you and they light your munitions on fire, and then you're
Mm.
stuck there, shredded and burning. At least you won't be
Yeah.
burning with those. At least your bottom part won't be. Your top part,
Yeah.
probably.
So I mean, like, stacked. I got a really good
man.
bag.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Luke and Corey, Luke got an amazing bag too. Like, he got these certificate for free boots. Both
That's
him and Corey
nice.
pulled Masadas off the table.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So
Jelly,
it was,
jelly.
and I guess there was a dissonant somewhere in there as well with the random bags. So, I mean, they do a really good job. I wish Craig had gotten a better bag. We were going through them afterwards, and Craig kind of he didn't get one of the good bags. So
Luck of the
but-
draw.
Yeah, luck of the draw. Luck was definitely, I guess we'll say luck was kind of on my side this weekend. So they had these raffles going on as well.
Mhm.
And like IWI, I think put like 10 ARs on the table. There was like three,
Science.
well, actually there was like three, total 4 Genesis shotguns that were being raffled off. For one of them, you just basically had to go shoot their side stage. And then there was a dissident on raffle. So caught up in the whole thing. I think I spent like $300 on raffle tickets, and just I was looking at the shotgun, so I had bought more of those raffle tickets, put those in, and then put like, I don't know, $10 in each of the, in a bunch of the they had to have more because I think I put in 10 for 10 guns.
Mhm.
Put like $10 in for each gun because they have every gun with its own box, and I actually drew one. So I drew a IWI Zion 15 custom Cerakoted by Pro 2A Customs.
Sounds
So-
like the AR
You know,
armor
like
is
a
getting
bandit.
bigger.
So yeah,
Would you pull out of this thing like $2,000 worth of stuff?
oh, more than that, because the rifle alone with no Cerakote's $1,000.
It's like
That
a
Cerakote job, easy $500. And then the pants and everything else, like it's actually verging closer to like 2,500, $3,000. So it worked out pretty good for me. Definitely thrilled and happy about all that, and without the prizes, that it was a great match. I'm definitely gonna do my best to go back there. This year it sold out in 20 seconds, so you gotta be fast draw.
Gotta be fast on your draw and on your clicks.
Yeah. Of course, can't be on these trips and not stop at Bass Pro. And so we did stop at Bass Pro a few times. I went to like number 1, the Pyramid.
Aha, Memphis.
I finally got the AR-15 Armorer's Master Kit.
You need it
So,
now.
Yeah. Well, it keep building rifles.
Tony,
So
you don't understand how many rifles are getting made.
Yeah, I know. It's like, here's
yeah.
3-gun Team
gun.
Canada's armor right here.
So one disappointing thing is this doesn't come with a single crow's foot. It comes with a deflection beam
Aww.
torque wrench. It comes with, I mean, you can look it up online. It's a very well put together kit. The wrench, your AR wrench is beefy. It actually has pads to use it as a hammer, which it's quite the hammer. So yeah, I'm probably gonna use my 25% gift certificate on at least the crow's feet, if not more stuff. But and then I also picked up little stubby torque wrench for doing scope rings and stuff.
Yeah,
Because I'm just getting tired of running around with 2 separate torque wrenches in that. There's a torque wrench in that kit. There's a torque wrench here. Done for my travel stuff. So I'm also glad on this trip that I have already condensed my stuff a fair bit from what I used to do, because the space in the truck would not have happened the way I used to travel, like even a few months ago. So yeah, that's basically like. I'm sorry for taking so long, but it was a good match, and I just wanted to get that out there.
Big match, big prize table, big America. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll move on to the rest of the show. Upcoming events. Is there much for Maple Seeds coming up, Adriel?
Yeah, we got some in Ontario that are still going on here. So we're October 15th right now. This weekend there'll be one in Stittsville. October 25th will be in Nova Scotia and Ontario, and then 26th will be one in BC.
Okay. And I see you do have some trainings coming up, but 18th Pal sold out.
Yeah.
The one you have available now is October 26th in Bonnyville.
Yep, that one's not sold out. I added that date because I had so many people asking about adding another date on it. They don't do a lot of courses out in Bonnyville, so maybe I'll make that a more regular thing to do. Just go out for a weekend every once in a while, maybe every quarter.
Sounds like there's a market there.
Yeah, there's markets everywhere. It's just a lot of time people don't want to put on consistent courses.
Yeah. 3-gun matches, you can go to 3gun.ca, but basically the rest of the year, you got Sherwood Park this weekend, October 18th, Sherwood Park again on November 1st, and then Chaz on November 8th. All of those are on Practice Score. BTSA, there's a Steel Challenge weekend season ender this weekend on the 18th. And then there will be a combo IPSC shotgun, IPSC mini rifle weekend. So on the 25th is the IPSC shotgun, and on the 26th is the mini rifle. All at BTSA.
I believe both are level 2. So
check. They're okay. So they're running the shotgun as it's not IPSC like they are. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
IPSC, I believe. Yeah.
Cool. And then we kind of alluded to Team Canada 3-gun and me building a bunch of rifles, but Superstition Mountain registration opened today. It closes next week, so it is a lottery. There are a bunch of Canadians coming down, but I would like to invite people to go register and come down, because that is a great kickoff to the year, and that ends up being a big party week. And
I'm going to ask you about after the show about that.
Okay.
One. Yeah.
Sounds good. But yeah, get onto the news. Adriel, you want to take the news?
Yeah, I did a couple of these. So the first one here is this greater awareness would have helped roll out a federal gun buyback. That's what the Cape Breton mayor said on it. Now, really, yeah. Oh, there's a misstep right from the beginning, blah, blah, blah. I want to show you guys something in this article that will blow your mind. And it is, you have to go down a little bit further. I'll just say 3, not 23rd. What's the next one? There will, I'll just do the pull quote here. There was only 3 municipalities nationwide who agreed to take part in the compensation program.
Really?
3.
And I think Winnipeg was one of them too. I thought.
Wow.
only 3 municipalities agreed to be part of this.
That's
It's
crazy.
just not even the pilot, the program. That blows. I would have thought there would have been a bunch in Quebec and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Quebec,
Or like
Ontario,
Toronto, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I think maybe Dustin or someone had mentioned before, but the police chief of Cape Breton is like the brother or brother-in-law to
Brother-in-law or
some
something, yeah.
liberal MP, and that's probably why it got done there, is because it was a family connection, right?
I don't really know what the greater awareness is supposed, like, awareness from whom?
I don't know. It seems like just a fluff article, but the fact that was buried in there is like 3. You only had 3. You need more than 3.
Yeah.
And then Rod also put out a video where they were he talked to the CS AAA and a couple of gun shops to try to estimate like how many previously non-restricted, now prohibited guns there are in Canada. And that estimate, he came to like between like 1 to 3 million firearms, probably around the 2 to 3 that were non-restricted that are now prohibited. Think of all the WKs and all the like. Not a lot of people didn't really like ARs before. A lot of people liked to get the stuff that was non-restricted. They didn't want the government knowing about their guns and that kind of thing. And
I understand that. It was just generally less convenient.
Yeah.
Even if you're just going to the range,
or going to shoot on like a farm or something like that, you can't do it with a restricted gun.
You have to lock it twice.
Yep. Yep. And you can't take your restricteds to the farm.
Right.
Canada Post is shipping stuff again. So this with some places like Delask, for example, they only use Canada Post, and there's a couple of other gun places that do that. So they're moving stuff again.
They're on a rotating strike, as they say. So your region may still be affected, but just check their thing.
They should be on a rotating strike 100% of the time.
Yeah.
We don't need daily mail. Anyways, I don't care about mail and that kind of thing. It's just they need to modernize their things so that they're not losing buttloads of money.
Yeah.
Runkle's Supreme Court case won't be heard, though. So he was trying to make the case that the government has to allow a court challenge to the reclassification that they did. The government said they nullified our reg certs for our ARs. Sorry, those reg certs are now null. And it's like, that's not a thing.
That's not a term, right?
You can revoke them,
defined.
But if you revoke them, we get to have our day in court and say like, hey, we don't think this was done properly. Anyways, they're not going to hear it.
No. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me.
But that's kind of crazy. It's like the due process. Like Ronco's done everything properly, and there's no due process. Whatever. Government.
Well, even like this was never mind what they did. The thing that we're talking about is, hey, if you reclassify something, we get to have a day in court about it if we so choose. Us with our limited resources, and the government with its unlimited resources, we get to have a day in court, and they took that away.
And they can just invent terms. Nullify was never defined in the criminal code, I don't think, or in the firing program. So now it's just
it wasn't.
There's a term that's not defined. We're gonna throw that at you, and you can't do anything about it.
We can, just not at the Supreme Court level.
Yeah.
Well, you can do something about it just to drain your own time and money.
Sure. Cry about it. Curl into a ball. The gun ban amnesty officially extended to October 30th, 2026. So there was several amnesties covering several groups of guns. And I think this is just, they're all October 2026 now, except for the ones that are just prohib.
Crypto is probably still not covered. Yeah.
Nope, not covered at all. Yeah. But yeah, most of the groups got moved. This made sense. They had to do this because there were some that were prohibited in May 2020, December 2024, March 2025, just all over the place. And now they're all just October 2026. Not that they have money for all them all, because like part of the thing that Rod was trying to figure out is like, how many can they actually buy? And when you count the restricted, which the numbers we know, and the non-restricted, which we don't know, but we can estimate, they can only pay for 1% of them.
Well, I don't even think they get through the restricted.
5%. barely get through the restricteds. And then for the remaining non-restricteds, they can only pay for 1% of them. If there's 2 million out there and they can only pay for 20,000, that's 1%.
Yeah.
Worth
Yep.
it's something to think about. New gun stuff?
Yeah, let's get into new gun stuff.
Got a couple of interesting ones here. So one of the ones is, I don't know if I talked about this one before, but Hush Holsters is a U.S. company. They make holsters, I guess. I don't know. But they also make a folding stock for the SKS. And they're coming to Canada. And we're even building guns with them. So there are a couple, what was this? Blade or spike bayonet Chinese SKS. And it comes with a folding stock on it. That Hush Holsters one. And you can buy, I think I've seen the stocks themselves for sale here as well. It's just kind of neat.
Looks kind of like a folding Mini 30, I want to say.
Yeah, the stock definitely doesn't balance well with the rest of the gun. The rest of the gun
No.
is quite large, and the stock is like really little and spindly.
Yeah.
In any case,
Yep.
yeah, I saw this one on International Shooting Supplies. This Antler Arms. They're supposedly made in Canada, so
That's a cool looking rifle.
yeah, they're like ultralight hunting rifles kind of a thing. Yeah, a little bit more expensive, but that's a 300 Win Mag. And what's the weight on this thing? 6.8 pounds. Pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
3 lug action. Like semi-custom is what I would like classify this as, because they're using like a fancy dancy action and yeah, putting it together and Cerakoting it and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of neat. And there, one of the while I was looking at those, I'm like, well, what is a good light rifle? I think I was looking. I've seen the Howa 1500s. I had a Howa 1500 before. I haven't seen their super lights. 4 pounds. This one's 4 pounds 7 ounces. That is that is a light rifle.
That is light.
That's absolutely
Wow.
And that's
ridiculous.
in a short action, not in the Howa Mini action. That's a 6.5 Creedmoor as well.
Yeah.
For the listener. So pack a punch.
Not much of a butt pad on it, which you're gonna need at a 4-pound gun, 4.5 pound.
It said it's a limb saver. I don't know if it's a slimmed down limb saver or not, but
Slimmed one, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, quite light, and then like a carbon fiber stock and that kind of thing. So
$15.99.
not bad.
Profit River.
bad.
Yeah, it's not bad really.
Like the lightweight guns cost a lot because you typically use like a carbon
Like
fiber stock on them.
the stock. I think the stock is from Stockies, and I think the stock itself is like 600 US or something. It's crazy
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Stocky's stock with a limb saver recoil pad, 2 versions of Cryptek camouflage finish. I wonder if they had one with not Cryptek that was cheaper, because I could give a crap about what it looks like.
Should be orange.
I'm looking at that weight and just like, oh man, that's amazing. I shared this in the group. I don't really know the use case of it, but boy, it looks goofy. The PTR Industries. So I Run Guns has these. PTR Industries, the Jack 12 gauge pump action, 7-inch barrel, 27-inch OAL. It's got a nylon shell carrier. It's a little
2+1. Oh my god, that's kind of useless.
Why is it 2? Oh, because it's such a short barrel. Yep.
Hunting possible. 2+1. No block required.
No, it's going to be a cylinder choke on there.
I
It
know.
doesn't
Yeah.
say, but
It's just
that's
dumb.
yeah, it's gonna.
Well, it's one of the last thing we can laugh at the US for the next 2 months before they go $0. Yeah,
I have a feeling you put this in, Tony.
correct. So it looks like Vortex have launched their Triumph group of, I guess, more budget-friendly stuff. The
Shit
more
stuff.
interesting thing is the spotting scope. It's $99 US or 150 Canadian. And they will range a reflective target to 850 and a deer to like 350. Plenty for you bow hunters
Are you
out
talking
there.
about
or
the rangefinder?
the rangefinder is
Okay,
150 Canadian, 100 US.
So
Yeah.
what is it? What do they say for a deer on that one?
350, I think. It's pretty
Garbage.
close now for these
Useless.
days, but
no, useless, absolutely useless.
It's very
and I like
cheap.
cheap stuff. No, but you need a rangefinder that will range out to 500.
Yeah.
At least on deer, reliably.
That's fair, but if you're
It
in
needs to
Ontario, you can't
range
shoot that far.
You don't need
No,
the
no,
rangefinder then.
That's what I was just about to say. You need it to range farther than you're willing to shoot.
Well, farther than your MPBR as well. If you sight your rifle in 2 inches at 100, you're good from 0 to 300. You don't need a rangefinder from 0 to 300. You need a rangefinder for beyond 300 to see what your drop's going to be, or to decide that you're not going to take the shot.
For me, it's really a range thing. I need a target at 25 yards and 50 yards, and not range. Well, this is a very uniquely BTSA thing too, because most of our bays are active action bays. We don't have a rifle bay at 50, so you have to kind of set it up yourself.
Sure.
Niche use case.
Yeah.
Or if you're a bow hunter,
could
that makes sense.
I could see this being for somebody, but I mean, there's better out there. You don't need to go this cheap.
A little
Fair.
bit better, and you get something that a little bit more, and you get something that will range quite a bit
Further,
out.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is cool that they've got the low end kind of
Yeah.
taken care of. Yeah.
And you can smack it, and they will get you a new one.
Yeah.
So.
Tony, don't buy that.
Oh, I already have a rangefinder, so I don't need one.
Okay,
But
good.
mine's pretty close range too. It was an older one, so.
Did you add this one in too?
No, I did not. It must be Dustin.
Dustin, maybe.
man.
This is Dustin all over. Look at this thing. Federation Firearms
Oh, yeah.
410, short 410 gauge, 12-inch barrel revolver shotgun.
Huh.
Designed for hunting small game. BS. No.
Not with a 12-inch.
They have a cylinder plug for waterfowling. That would be so useless. I hate it.
No, you
Thanks,
have
I
to.
hate it.
So you have to because you have to limit it to.
Well, I know, but then every time you have to like figure out which cylinder to close it on, so you actually have a live cylinder ready.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
on the same token, if you're shooting a revolver, you should know what that action is, whether
That's true.
I'll do you one better, Kyle. You should not be shooting waterfowl with this thing.
yeah, okay, there you go.
410 with a 12-inch barrel. This thing has no business going waterfowling. None whatsoever. What's the
Cool,
choke
though.
on it? What's the choke? Choke?
Must be
Oh,
interchangeable.
comes
Choke set.
standard.
Uh-huh.
And a choke set. Okay.
Ooh,
It's still no.
yeah.
I would
Install
pref-
mod, full improve mod, IC and C. Oh, at least they give the 5-pack.
I would prefer if they make this like a judge where it can shoot 45 as
Long
well.
Colt? Yeah.
That would be
would
cool. Yeah.
That would be more
Yeah,
interesting.
no,
I
none of
think.
these can do that. No, you'll do some damage. And then I think this was supposed to go along with it. So maybe
Oh, okay.
maybe this is the story.
the
You're supposed to get the revolver shotgun and
Winchester Defender 410 2.5-inch shells, 15 count plated mixed project. I know they have
Oh,
a
yeah.
Defender in 12
So,
where
it's
there's like a
where's
slug.
the shot sizes in there? Well, there's
There's multiple.
discs. There's discs in there.
Yeah.
3 plated discs and then some pellets behind it.
Yeah.
BB.
750 FPS though. That's subsonic. Jeez, man.
Over $2.50 a round. Wow.
Your threat got to be real
Oh, but
close.
Actually, no. 410 should be around $150 around.
So it's not as bad, but
You gotta
That's
stop
a
the threat,
lot.
Tony. This is
Yep.
what you need to stop the threat: a revolver, shotgun, and these weird things.
Yeah.
Plated discs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, 410. So if your kid needs to do the defending,
I guess. Yeah, the kid home defender, made for kids.
You got 5 shots and yeah.
the heavy ass trigger pull in between.
yeah.
Can you make a single action? Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
You could probably cock the hammer and yeah.
And they will shoot.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the main topic. So tonight for our main topic, we have probably, well, I wouldn't say probably, he's the most dominant 3-gunner currently. I mean, we can't take of all time away from Daniel yet, but currently I would say, yeah, the most dominant shooter, 3-gunner. How would you put it, AJ?
I let other people put me in that bucket. I think if you start putting yourself in that bucket, then you got a little bit to, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, no, the most dominant, at least 3-gunner, and definitely taken some names in the USPSA/IPSC world as well. We were just at Memorial 3-gunning over the weekend, so I figure, perfect timing to do a little quick recap of your match and how it went, what you thought.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to just go over the play-by-play of how everything went, or just kind of from top to bottom, like day pre-day to ending, or?
Yeah, sure. I know you had ran into some issues, so I mean we can kind of work into the other section on the challenges you faced and how you tackled them through the match. And we had tropical storm through there, and everything made it fun
for sure. So I guess I'll start with the pre-match day, because I think that's where the real match starts most of the time. I think a lot of people don't give that day as much credit as it's due. I usually show up. Actually, I don't usually. I don't think there's a match that I haven't shown up a day early to, and that is technically 2 days early, so that you have a full day to acclimate, walk stages. There's a lot more that goes into that too, because when you start flying a lot to matches, if you're just going once or twice a year, it's not a big deal. But if you're flying a lot to matches, airlines become an issue. So the 1 day early, so if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm getting there on Wednesday night or evening, whenever that ends up being. It has a lot to do with if the airlines lose your bags, it gives you a day to go get stuff. It gives you time, if your airline just messes you up and you can't fly in. So that prep starts Wednesday. For sure. And then Thursday, we're walking stages. Truth be told, I was a little bit out of it on day 1 and 2, as in Thursday and Friday. I don't know what was there's a lot going on in my life right now. I'm getting married in less than 2 weeks right now. So we're trying to shoot that match. And then she just got back from South Africa. So we had a week to get all of our guns and shit ready to zero them and just test them and make sure everything's working. We didn't even have time to practice. We just made sure everything's running. And I was a bit distracted, to say the least. I was just happy that we got there on time, and I was just kind of muddling through stage walkthroughs. I'm usually pretty obsessive with it and trying to get the footwork down and the positioning down on every stage. But I was just kind of out of it. Then day 1 came around, and that showed that I was out of it. We didn't get there early enough. And when I say didn't get there early enough, it's 7:30 was first shots. And because they do the memorial, my brain forgot how long the memorial takes and the intro to the stage, because usually it's 5 minutes, and it's they just tell you and then you go on your walkthrough. But I forgot there's the whole memorial thing that takes 10 minutes. So I show up 15 minutes early, and we basically get there, and they're like, okay, squad brief. And I'm I don't have mags loaded. I don't have my belt on. I don't know what the hell's going on. What's the stage again? There's long range. What are the yardages? I was just out of it. So thankfully they were yeah.
Quick question, because before we get further, one thing I'm curious on, because you were saying during walkthrough day you were out of it, not near as obsessive. And one thing I found difficult, maybe it's just me and I just gotta get used to it. I found that pretty much every stage I was walking on, it was just a crowd. It was really difficult to even work on placement and footings.
You run into that from time to time. It was definitely, I think it was more of a thing this memorial. I could be wrong. This is just a guess, but the stages weren't as crazy long as they usually are. Which I still like the stages. It's not really a criticism of the match, but just the way the match flow went. The stages were all 40 to 50 second stages. I don't really know. There might have been some 80s in there, but the amount of space you were moving through, I think, was much less on the jungle runs and the bay stages than it otherwise has been. A lot of the time, all the jungle run, it's you're moving it feels like you're going on a hike with how much movement you're actually going through. And then this year, the longest jungle run, I think, maybe you might have been moving 40 feet with the rifle, and then another 50 with the shotgun, and then ending with the pistol in the same spot. So it was like everything was more compact. That's just a guess. They also cut walkthroughs to, you had to check in open to 12, and they weren't letting people walk before that. So I think that time probably compacted everybody as well a bit. That's just a guess, though.
Yeah.
But yeah. So on walkthrough day one, it showed that I was like out of it. I was literally like as I was walking up to the line, I was like looking at the yardages and like trying to remember what the hell my holds were, because that was stage 2 with the 700-yard target. They were 5 long range, I think. I think actually most of them had 5 long range. So I was just happy I remembered my holes, to be frank, but I missed the clay. There's the clay that's like the tight right shot, and I just straight up walked by it, just got a failure to shoot at penalty off of my first stage, and that didn't feel great. The worst part was I kind of knew it was there, because you see me in the video like look for it, and I just didn't lean far enough to see it, and I thought I got it. So it was a interesting way to start the match. Our second stage, which was stage 3, I messed up because the timing of the movers, that was the one with the I forget the company, really cool company, the robot movers.
Yeah, Adriel and I shot them at the public range day at SHOT Show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've been supporting a lot of matches. They're a super cool company. I forget forgetting the name, but they have movers out there on robots, and you basically had to do a little bit of timing with when you decided to shoot, because there was long range targets intermixed with the robots you had to shoot. There was the whole first part of the stage that went fine for me, but there were 3 papers that you had to shoot at some point of the top of the tower. My plan was to shoot those first, because you needed to wait for the movers to start, and I didn't shoot those first. I just went straight to the movers, and there was nothing showing yet, and I got confused. Like, I got posted up, was like, I don't see them yet. What? Oh, then I'm supposed to shoot at those. Then I come back up, and then the movers have moved past where I was planning on shooting at them. So my timing, it probably added like at least 10 seconds, maybe even 12 or 13 seconds to that stage for me, possibly even more. Then stage 3, I had another run by a target, didn't shoot at it, wasn't thrown up into my walkthrough. It was the stage with 2 double stars. You started in the kind of the front of the bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just
5 slugs over the car. Or no, that's a different one. That was the helicopter.
Yes, the helicopter. I just wasn't thrown up. This one, this wasn't even in my walkthrough. My brain just like totally never counted the targets, just assumed I was getting everything, and there was one that I never saw. So it showed that I wasn't very thorough in my walkthroughs, so I got another failure to shoot at. Stage 4 was probably the only stage I was super happy with that day. I think that ended up being a stage 1 in modified. It wasn't anything crazy, though. It wasn't like I had a crazy good run. I finally had no mistakes on a run, which typically that's kind of my thing I'm known for, is not making many mistakes. I might make one a match, but this time it was like I just had 3 giant ones on the first day, and it's like, okay, let's go, I guess. Let's party, because it's the big hole I had to get myself out of.
Yeah. That does sound like a rough first day. I think my first day ended up being my best day as far as
nice
for consistency. My best and worst stages came on the last day, but
did you end on the up at least, or did you end on the down?
I ended on the down.
Shoot.
I started out the day on the best, I started the day on the best and ended the day on the worst.
Okay, it does go like that sometimes, for sure. I've been there. It's funny.
But spoiler alert, you ended up winning it.
Mm-hmm.
How did so obviously day 2 and 3 went a little better for you?
Yeah, excuse me, sorry. Day 2 and 3 ended up going a lot better for me. I kind of just I just kind of looked at scores. I didn't know who was going to be there that match. I knew my good buddy Bryson. We were shooting together. He's from Tucson. He's a really good shooter. He beat me last year in modified. I think I got 5th. He got 4th. So in my mind, he's the only one I'm kind of competing with because I didn't know if Garrett was there, Matt Martin. Like I didn't know who the names were that had shown up. But Bryson, my buddy, had issues with his shotgun, and then a couple other just mistakes that he made in stages. So we were more or less like, we felt the same about our first day, so we didn't know how to gauge it. Then we look at scores come out. I'm at like 86% or something. It wasn't good. I was down like, I want to say I was down like 60 points, which is quite a bit for 3-gun. As far as like trying to win the match goes, it was Sean Mueller and JP Sullivan were both ahead of me, and it was hard because one of them had shot the other half of the match, so our scores hadn't intersected. So it's kind of a nothing burger after the first day when you're trying to compare. You just can't. But I think it was Sean Mueller. One of them had basically shot the same stages and had all stage wins, and I was sitting there like, wow, that sucks, basically. So I was sitting there kind of obsessing over it, and I'm like, okay, I just have to lock in. I can't make any more of my silly mistakes that I've been making, and just had to focus up. So day 2, we started in the afternoon, and the weather was kind of a dice roll every day. We, luckily enough, got to a good end of the dice roll as far as the weather went. We still got rained on, but it was nowhere near as bad as the people Sunday afternoon. That's when it really started dumping on people. Did you finish in the afternoon on Sunday or in the morning?
We were opposite schedules, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. You got the bad end of that stick there for sure. Because we were driving, dude, we almost had to pull over when we were driving back to the hotel. That's how bad it got when we were driving. I don't know how bad we were like 30 minutes away, so I don't know how much of that actually hit the range, but it felt like a lot of it did.
It was weird. Like Sunday was weird all day, and like it would start raining. Like it wasn't super heavy, but it was sustained and like a lot of it, but it wasn't like super big drops.
Okay.
And then it would just stop. You'd actually dry out a bit where you actually weren't uncomfortable, and then okay, cool. I think we might be in the clear, and boom, nope. Started dumping.
It just dumps on you again. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
And then you get wind blowing the rain sideways. Yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm sorry to hear that you got the bad end of the stick, but it do be like that sometimes. But as it worked out, day 2, we got rained on, but it wasn't anything that affected anything in any major way. You kind of have to deal with it in terms of like making sure your stuff stays dry. Not just standing in like you have to stay under stuff and like put your rain jacket on, take it on and off. But it was pretty negligible as far as how much it affected me is concerned. We also on day 2 only had 3 jungle runs, so we were actually kind of in the trees the whole time, more or less. So that ended up working quite in our favor too. I had what was it? It was the shotgun stage, the jungle run with a really far pistol steal, and I can't remember what the other stage was, but it was all jungle runs.
8, 9, yeah, because 8 was the shotgun jungle run.
Yeah, and I shot 7, 8, 9, so it would have been.
So it's the trolley, the trailer.
Yeah, that's right, trolley. So I guess that's not jungle run, but it was still it wasn't any long range. It was just a base stage. So
yeah.
Started off on 7, the trolley stage. That went super well for me. The only thing I just fumbled the spinner like a bit. It probably took me half a pass more than it should have because I just whiffed a couple shots on one of the passes from the spinner.
Which one? The pistol spinner?
No, the rifle spinner.
Oh,
yeah. But literally other than that was the only like real hiccups that I felt. It went well. The shotgun stage went really, really well for me. No real complaints there. And the other jungle run, the only hiccup I had, it probably took me 7 or 8 shots, I think, to hit that first small steal on the pistol. That's the only real hiccup I had. And I kind of had to chalk it up to my pistol. I haven't been taking care to use good ammo lately. I just kind of had to get a hold of some ammo just to ship it because everything was so last minute and it was not gripping the best. Like I'm talking 5 inches at 25 yards, kind of bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not good. I didn't have my hand modes like I normally do. So
did you take the one on the right first?
I did.
Okay, so yeah, it was the smaller of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just took me like 8 or 10 shots. So it probably added 7 seconds, 6 seconds to what would have been a really big stage win. Ended up just being like a 95%er, which all in all, it could have gone a lot worse for me. So that's honestly the worst thing of the day. So I was going to take that. At that point, I was at like 94.5%, somewhere in there. JP and Sean were still ahead after day 2. So I knew I just needed to lay down 3 good stages and let the chips fall where they may at that point. We had 6, which was the... I'm sorry, 6, which was the 3 slug stage. 10 was the tower, and 1 was the plane. And the slug stage, it had some hiccups. I literally, the first slug just didn't go off when I brought up the gun. It just brought up click, and then I had to rack it, and that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Oh,
when
really?
I was, it was really weird. My only assumption is the bolt just wasn't, it didn't go home all the way for some reason. But that I ended up having 3 or 4 slug makeups that took a good 5 or 6 seconds. That was it. I just got a little bit rattled when I brought the gun up and nothing happened. And then I had, I think that was, other than that, that stage went well. It ended up being a 87% stage. That being said, that was just because JP Sullivan had a really good, he had a crusher of a stage. He beat everyone, even in open, by 6 or 7 seconds, I think. So
wow.
It was. So when I was looking at the scores, because you can kind of gauge how much meat on the bone there is on scores if you look and say, hey, open technically isn't really an advantage on this stage. It's it's not there's 100 shotgun targets. It's just a few targets here, a few targets there. And if open is beating modified by 15 seconds, you know that there's probably 7 or 8 maybe 7 or 8 seconds. If you know the stage well enough, you can kind of gauge if there's some winning to be had on the stage, or if it's just kind of you're just kind of gonna get what you get. And I knew going into it that I probably wasn't going to get a stage win there. I was just gonna kind of have to try to fend for myself and get as many points as I could. Which is what happened. 10, I pushed a little bit, which was the tower stage, because I knew that stage technically, literally the only advantage in my mind that Open had was that they could have a bag on the top.
And that would have been that would have been an advantage there, yeah.
It is, but it's not. In my mind, that's not really a time thing. That's okay, if I just get a good enough position, then it's not. It's kind of a negligible advantage. And then modified was 15 to 16 seconds off of the open times, I think. So I knew that it could gain a lot on that stage, which I ended up doing. I ended up having a stage winning modified by about 10 seconds.
Right. I think the big one on that one was how fast you get up the stairs. I think that was
if the old people were not happy with that stage for sure. There were even a lot of more, I guess, spry people that it's crazy how fast you get gassed, right? Because those stairs are probably this much of an angle. It's not normal steps.
Well, there was so much to go through your mind on that one, because they were steep, not standard steps at all, expanded metal, and wet environment. I know I was debating on how hard should I push going up these stairs. Should I skip? Should I just take it safe? And that was definitely a concern there for sure. Yeah. So on the rifle, because just to paint the picture, you're up on this tower and we have these handrails, but we have to shoot out the side. So we have targets going downrange, like if you look forward, but you have to shoot through the gap in the side. So that handrail that you're using up for a support is at an angle. So, and I know when I was getting my sight picture, you think, oh, I can rest on that, but that angle on that handrail really messed. I ended up resting the front end edge of my handguard on there. Now, shooting modified, I don't know if you did this or I just had the thought, would it have helped to straddle your bipod on that and then pivot on your bipod?
I don't know. That's not what I ended up doing. And if I can't use the bipod, I guess as God intended with the legs down, I've always found it to be a little bit annoying. Trying to get either, because you're saying like the bipod straddling the
like put the legs down and then just put over the handrail, and then with that angle on that edge of the handrail, it wouldn't be forcing your rifle to canter or anything.
I don't think I could have done that because I have one of the Atlas bipods, and it's not like it's just a V. There's like the mechanism in the middle that would have it would have just gotten in the way. And I think most bipods have that kind of a thing going on too, so I'm not sure if that would have worked. Maybe the Harris just don't.
Okay.
But in any case, I ended up, I got lucky enough that I decided to test magwell all the way up, which is typically not what I do. I like to get as far, if in a vacuum, if you're just shooting off of a barrier with nothing else going on, I like to get the rifle as far back as possible. So try to get the end of the rifle, get the barrier as close to the end of the rifle as possible, because you have a longer lever arm and your adjustments are, it's like lowering the sensitivity on your mouse, so to speak, when you get it as far away as you can. But I tried to get it up because there was like no body support at all. You could kind of rest your right ass cheek on the little vertical post, but even then it was like there was like nothing to rest on. So you were almost like straight leg, like bent forward and then just trying to shoot, which is like one of the worst positions. I ended up going magwell up and really shoving the gun, basically the magwell into the barrier. So more or less it's like, I'm trying to think of what I get that. No, I can't. I was going to try to find something around to give an example, but I think you get what I'm saying. Pinching it really hard and getting the magwell end ended up being a really solid position. Like trying to pivot it and move it was a little bit sluggish because it really like you're trying to pivot it and shove it at the same time, and then when you try to move it a little bit to the target, it kind of jumps around and you kind of have to settle it again. But it ended up being really, really stable once you got it settled, which is the main thing.
Right.
And then I had the plane stage, which it wasn't like a crazy run or anything, but it still ended up just being a stage win by like 0%. Like a bunch of us had times in like the 83 to the 88. So I didn't lose any points there. And long story short, what ended up happening, JP and Sean both kind of dropped the ball on one stage, and that plus me getting a really, really big stage win on the tower stage ended up being enough for me to take it. So
awesome.
That's how it finished out.
That's a huge comeback from 85 to winning.
It was a bigger comeback than I thought that I could pull off. And a lot of it, you have to leave it up to God, so to speak, because you can't control what other people are going to do. You just have to do what you can at that point. And I knew I was not going to feel cheated if I lost, so to speak. Like, if I lost, I deserved to lose at that point. So It was something I was just telling myself, which gave me a little peace when I was shooting, to be fair. So,
well, and like, congratulations. We talked a little bit at the match, like that.
Yeah,
that's
thanks,
awesome. I love seeing what you've been doing. Also a testament that, like, because I know, like, a lot of people, myself included, would look at that and be like, okay, I got to go extremely hard where you're there. No, I just got to buckle down and just wake up.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think every time I see or hear people trying to talk about like taking it to 11 or just like really pushing it, like, you can't. It sounds kind of stupid to say, but like, you can't try to get a stage win. Like, if you're trying to force yourself to go faster, you are guaranteed to start making stupid mistakes that just are not going to get you anywhere and lose you time. So you just kind of have to, focus up and play your own game, so to speak. But
yeah. So I opened it up saying you're the most dominant 3-gunner right now. Like, what have you lost a match this year?
there is one match technically that I lost by like it's hilarious. It's like 0.03% or something. Sam Larkin beat me at the Texas shotgun qualifier.
Okay.
And it's funny because it's one of those situations too where if you sort it by overall, I beat him by like 0.5%. But then if you sort by division, we flip.
Because of
just the way the stages play out. Yeah. But so that's the only one that I technically didn't win. Other than that, and there've been a lot of matches this year, so it's been a really good year for me.
You've been all over the world this year, so
yeah, literally, it's been nuts.
Yeah. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to get into what you do for training to get you to where you are, where you have a season where essentially win every match or lose by such a slim margin that it is literally a toss-up.
It's an interesting question because I think there's a lot of that goes into what the individual person is like. Because I think a lot of people have like super obsessive training styles. Other people are like super consistent where they just do their 10 minutes a day and that's what like gives them their foundation to build off of, so to speak. So I can't really say that like you should do X, Y, and Z and then you're just gonna magically get better, but to give context, I can just give what I've done. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
At the start, if I could actually get, sorry, I froze there. Am I good?
No, you're good.
Yep.
Oh, okay. At the start of when I was training, there's probably a solid, and this is going back like I started shooting competition about 6 years ago. So actually, it might be a little bit longer. What freaking year is it again? 2025. I think it was 2018 when I started. So about 7 years ago. Was just shooting for a year. I was like one of the tactical Timmy guys that was like going to the desert, practicing my draw, shoot, reload, one shoot with my Glock kind of a thing, a target at like 7 yards because I didn't know any better. Then I found competitions and I was like, okay, this is awesome. This looks like fun. And then I did one of them and I was like, this is just literally what I want to do every weekend for the rest of my life. It was so much fun. So it was about a year of just like shooting 3-gun and learning all the gear that goes into it. Like, what am I going to need? Just buying the gear. I started with like what's the brand name? My brain's forgetting, but just the cheap plastic quad load caddies and like just the minimum gear. TACOM, yeah, that's it. TACOM. Yeah, I still have them. I still use them as my backup ones too. They're great. But it was probably about a year of just like getting into it, learning about it, and then about a year in, I was like, okay, I actually do want to try to like push this as far as I can, try to get better. So did a whole bunch of research, started reading books, read the Ben Stoker like dry fire books, started kind of dry firing a little bit with no real like motivation or purpose. It was just kind of like, oh, this is what people are doing, I'm going to do it. So it was about probably, yeah, going through the motions. There was a little bit of experimentation of like, you kind of figure out what works and what doesn't for yourself at that point. But it was kind of a year of that, of just messing around. And then probably halfway into that year, so halfway into the second year, I really started obsessively, because I'd won a local maybe, like my division in a local or something once at a 3-gun match. And then like, I'd still get beat. There was all our local pros. I had a really good local pro, Matt Kitzmiller. Really, really good. I actually got to shoot the match with him. Really, really good dude. Nice. I owe a lot to him and like him showing me what fast shooting can look like. Because it's really hard if you don't have that person to look at and be like, holy shit, this person's beating me by a lot and I don't know how they're doing it, so let me just watch. if you don't have that, it can be really, really hard to improve because you just kind of are flying blind, so to speak. So I started really obsessively looking at videos of like, okay, someone beat me by 10 seconds on the stage, and I didn't think I lost 10 seconds. So let's look at the video and see where I lost the time. And that could be anything from not bringing the gun up when I'm moving into a position to, okay, this reload took longer than I thought, to XYZ, yada, yada, yada. Just obsessively looking at those videos to see like, okay, where are the actual time saves that I'm missing at that point. So identifying those, because it's going to be different for every person, so just identifying those was the big first step for me. And then what kind of happened and evolved over time was that there's the dry fire portion of just like, especially in 3-gun, knowing your weapon manipulations. There's so much stuff going on that manipulating, reloading the shotgun, dumping it, switching to the pistol, if all of that's not second nature, then you're going to be kind of playing behind the 8-ball. So there's your basic, like, all your weapon manipulations that are just a standard thing to dry fire until they kind of get ingrained in you. That I don't really need to go into, just your draws, your reloads, your weapon transitions. But the thing I really started focusing on outside of just doing that on a day-to-day basis was my movement. So that's where you alluded to the backyard setup that I have. At the time I was living with my parents, we're in Scottsdale, so Arizona, so not a crazy big backyard, just a suburban kind of square area that's just right behind the house that has walls and stuff. But there was enough room for me to set up. I bought some cheap water barrels, like they have at matches to move around and stuff, and then had some target stands that I just put out, and I just started mixing it up. And I just started practicing moving. And the big asterisk there, too, is that that was COVID year. So there was 8 months. I can't even remember at this point. It's like PTSD's blocked it from my brain like everybody else. It was like 8 months of just us not being able to leave the house. So I had absolutely nothing to do other than dry fire and kind of mess. I was playing video games and stuff too, obviously. But just going outside, obsessing over like movement and stuff was all I was doing. And what that ended up doing is it took out all of the kind of unnecessary movements that was going on, and it let me build more solid positions faster. When you're dry firing like that, basically point A to point B and back again, I don't know how to put it into words that like, it's not like you're doing something specific. It's just that you keep doing it over time and your body gets used to it and you can just do it faster. And I don't even mean running, so to speak. I mean becoming stable in a position so that you can shoot good shots and you're not just like rolling up and sliding in and just letting shots rail off and maybe getting a few mics, but you're just like getting in position, stopping, and being able to shoot right away. So it was probably a good year of just doing that kind of stuff and figuring out footwork stuff, figuring out, oh, cool, like when I'm crossing over a thin threshold like this and I'm trying to shoot a target, I want to enter the position, landing on my outside foot because I don't want to be falling out of position if I have to make a makeup shot. Just like obsessing over the tiniest detail of stuff that you can only notice if you just do a dry fire run like 10 times and you just try it and you see how it goes and you try to figure out why that run was faster than the other. And that kind of was what set me off to start actually winning a lot more at my local matches. Once I did that, it felt like everything kind of could be mentally focused on what's going on, because I think a lot of the time when you've got a B-class shooter, I don't know, B-class for 3-gun, whatever you want to call it, you're trying to, like, there's so much going on that you're trying to manage where, okay, maybe your dry fire fundamentals aren't, like, subconscious yet, so you're trying to think about, okay, how do I need to quad load? And you're thinking about how you need to quad load, but you also didn't have the movement burned into the stage subconsciously, so now you're forgetting to think about, okay, that's the spot that I needed to hit on that stage, so you walk past it, and then you come back, and then you shoot the stuff, and then your weapons transition isn't subconscious, so you have to think about that, and then you forget what the next step was. So it's all about trying to get as many things as, like, for you to just go on autopilot, so you can just focus on calling good shots and then moving as fast as you can. Is kind of how my training evolves over that. And that's honestly, like, I would say 95% of what got me to where I am today. There's a lot of, like, basic shit, like, there's 100 million, like, cues that people have that are like, just hold the gun harder, or look at the target, or let your eyes draw to it. Like, you know, there's no magic thing that's going to make you a GM level shooter or something. But it's just putting in the time like that. And one of the bigger lessons that I learned too was to allude to more to, like, the actual live fire training, because I don't think there's, like, any specific thing that I do in live fire training. If anything, it's, like, way simpler than a lot of people will set up. It's the biggest tip that I got was I took a Rob Latham and Travis McCamish pistol rifle class, and, like, Rob Latham is, like, one of the goats of shooting for sure.
Yeah.
Just, I don't even know how many titles that dude has, but it's stupid. The biggest takeaway I had from the class is when he told us amateurs practice the complicated stuff and professionals practice the basics. So he showed us that, like, his practice session, if he's practicing, like, the dude, I don't know if the dude even, like, really practices anymore, like, aggressively practices, you know what I mean? He probably just goes out and shoots and then still just wins stuff at that point. But in, like, a normal practice session, one target, just draw, shoot 2, draw, shoot 5, practice recoil control, practice getting alphas. That's your practice session. Like, you're not setting up 5 walls and practicing all this crazy shit and, like, trying to do this and trying to have, like, a full stage run and running a stage 5 different ways to see. Like, there's nothing wrong with that stuff, but I think what ends up happening and what I learned is that, like, you just waste so much energy and time on that stuff that, like, you don't gain anything out of it. And that's where also, like, it's hard if you don't have the space to dry fire like I was in the backyard, like, running around with barrels and stuff. But if you have that space, like, there's no reason to be spending the time that you're at the range doing that stuff. If you're able to dry fire it, it's just, you're just spending more time that you could be shooting, or you could be practicing the stuff that you can only do it while you're shooting. So
That's interesting. So yeah, all your movement and your transitions and fundamentals are through dry fire, and then your live fire, correct me if I'm wrong, is more or less just training the recoil management.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can train in dry fire. And I think I've built up a reputation as being this, like, dry fire maniac that, like, does it for an hour and a half a day and, like, has crazy sessions and is, like, super obsessive. I think at the start I was, but I don't want to act like I'm that dude that goes crazy with dry fire every day and, like, is practicing super consistently, and like I'm not like that. Up until, like, I've been doing this full time for about a year now, and even then it's like I'm not getting to the range every day. I'm not dry firing every day. It's not easy to be that consistent, and the dudes that are, like, more power to them, but my brain also just doesn't work like that. I'm super obsessive compulsive ADHD, like, you name it, I've got it. So I'll obsess over it. Like, I just had a dry fire session that was probably, like, 50 minutes right before this, just because I have race gun nationals coming up, and I'm just trying to remember how to shoot a pistol good again. Not 3-gun standard, but, like, USPSA standard. But before that, like, I cannot remember the last time I dry fired. Like, it might have been 2 months ago when I was trying to, like, warm up for the one of the shotgun qualifiers, and I was just dry firing quad modes. But
I mean, it's been a busy year for you too. Like, between the 3-gun matches, and I don't know how many you did of those, but then the shotgun qualifiers, and then you were over at mini rifle. Were you doing? No, were you doing mini rifle? Yeah, you're doing
mini rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like there's so much going on with all that stuff now that I am shooting bigger matches that much that you just get practicing where you can and let the chips fall where they may, and you kind of rely on that foundation you built that is going to carry you.
So going into this supposed off season, I mean, it's Phoenix. Is there really an off season in Phoenix? But
it's more of an off season than it has been because like Lynn went to South Africa, so I didn't know what to do with myself for like 2 weeks, and then she got back, and then we had Memorial. Now we have Race Spin Nationals, and our wedding is happening that weekend, so we're just trying to keep it all together until that all is done. After the wedding, there's like the 5 days of like relatives will be in town, so we're like going to be busy with that stuff, and then for the rest of the year, it is. As far as I know and planning, the two PCSL matches. We're trying to go to the one in Richmond. We don't have specific plans on that yet, but we plan on it. And then PCSL Nationals in like December, whenever it is, which is nice because it's the same style, so it's not like we have to train up on a different style of shooting or a different gun. And honestly, 2-gun is probably the most natural to just pick up and shoot. In my opinion, it's just fun. So
yeah,
it's going to be a really good And then after that, I mean, the next match is probably Superstition in March. So we have a good 5 months if you want to include the 2 months of just the 2 PCSL matches. So it is an off season. I guess it's a long ass way to answer your simple question.
Well, and so will you then start picking up some local matches through the off season, start doing the dry fire more and that, or do you literally take an off season?
I think I'm the kind of guy that doesn't want to stop doing it because I'm so obsessive with it. I'll definitely not be crazy okay, now's the time to practice and build skills because I have time to focus. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be playing video games like a maniac and playing Battlefield and playing Arc Raiders and playing whatever the new stuff that comes out because we're going to be moving into a house and trying to get settled in there, and it'd be nice to have some months to just settle in. And then we'll still be shooting locals. It'll be nice to see all the local shooting family, so we'll probably be shooting a local every other weekend and stuff like that still. But nothing crazy planned in the off season as far as training goes or really pushing to improve or anything. So
awesome. Well, that is a load of information.
Yeah, so I just freaking rambled for 30 minutes there. So
that's amazing. That's awesome.
And hit me with any questions you have about it too, because I'm all for it. But yeah. I realize that's a lot of stuff to think about. But
yeah, when we talked, I think it was when we talked at Nationals, because we've been talking about getting together for some training during the off season.
Just a note too. I don't know if you have it this way, and it's just me on the screen, but it just feels like I'm talking to myself. If you want to go back to the
we can absolutely do that.
There we go. There's the party.
yeah,
for sure.
So we were talking because we've been talking for a number of years, and it just hasn't happened. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned something to me when we were having that conversation. Do you want to talk on that a little bit, or is that still mum?
I don't remember what it was, so you'll have to. It can't be too important if I don't remember what it is.
Okay, so you can tell me to shut up if you don't want anything.
You
mentioned that you were going to start up your own courses.
Yeah, no, that's not no, you're good. That's not a super secret or anything. I just I've wanted to for a long time. Lynn and I actually went through the whole process of getting NRA certified, which, dear God, what a nightmare. But it is something that I really want to do, and I'm kind of an overthinker, imposter syndrome perfectionist when it comes to what I want to put out there into the world for people to have. So I really want it to be something that's really well thought through, really well executed. So I've been trying to get started on it for probably the past 8 or 9 months, if I'm being honest, and people bug me about it for longer than that. But it's something that I really want to have in the pipeline in the future. I think it'll probably start with YouTube videos and the kind of I want to start with you may or may not know, but Christian Saylor does the thing where it's he uploads the whole match to YouTube or whatever, and then he has a paid you pay $20 and then you get his whole commentary on everything and what he did and why he did it, sort of a thing. I might start with that sort of thing or one-on-one coaching, just to bite it off, so to speak. And then once I get into that, I want to start doing some real classes and stuff. Like I have curriculum and stuff I'm like trying to write, but it's more just kind of getting my thoughts on paper and trying to see what it looks like. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yep.
So I don't want to hype it up too much. I'm like, I'm going to do it in a month, but I also don't want to be like, I'm never going to do it. It's kind of like in that middle stage right now where I don't know where it's going on with it. But
yeah, oh, that's good to know, and I know I'll be one of the first people to push for that. So
for sure,
yeah, you get that out there, I'll help push it out.
Thanks, man. For sure.
Yeah. Any questions from any of you guys?
I
No,
do
the
have
training
one question.
thing-
Oh, actually,
ahead.
Adriel, go first. Mine's good for
No,
a last one.
I was going to say, yeah, on the training thing, just start doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I've been told by everybody that I know that does training is like you learn as you go. Like you can't just, it's not going to be perfect, and I know that. I'm a perfectionist. Every time I start doing something, it's not perfect, and then I hate it, and that's just. But I appreciate the sentiment, man. Thank you, man.
And my question to you, AJ, is: are you ready for Greece yet?
No, that is the short answer to that. It is going to be a long road to Greece. Like to show you how ready I was. I got a call from the people that run it saying like, "Hey, you actually didn't sign up to be a part of it. You wanted to do this, right?" So I oh shoot, like that literally happened today. Like I forgot to freaking sign up for the whole thing. That's how ready I am apparently. But
So you went and shot the qualifiers and just never...
I guess the thing opened like 8 months ago or something, and I just that was before I was even thinking about it. So I just never, because that all that stuff happens like so early, it's crazy. But so that's how ready I am apparently.
Well, yeah, and then next year you'll have rifle qualifiers while you're prep for Greece.
I don't know how that's going to happen. I think I'm just going to hope to God that I still remember how to shoot a rifle, and I'm going to be just focusing on shotgun.
Yeah.
So I think that's the plan for now. But maybe if I to go to the first qualifier and get 80%, then I'll have to change that. But we'll see. But for Greece, though, there's a lot of stuff that is up in the air right now with what guns people want to shoot. Because I'm thinking of trying to switch to a 1301 because I know that's a lot of what the top guys shoot. But right now you can't get them because they're not being imported. They changed some law, and I think it's some percentage of the gun has to be made in the U.S. or something. But basically, you can't get them right now. So I would like to try that, see how that feels, and go back and forth. And there's just so many up in the air questions right now that can't be answered. So it's there's a lot going to happen between now and then.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's one thing too. I've talked about this with a few people. I don't think I'm going into it planning on winning it. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to be training, pushing 100%, just like I was with rifle. But I think world shoots especially. I say this. I guess mini rifle doesn't count because that was the first one, so you can't have gone to one before that. But I think you really have to go to one of those world shoots and not win before you can win, just to understand what's going on with it.
Right.
There's so much, especially shotgun. Those dudes do it so much better. They've done it for so much longer. They only focus on that. The matches over there are technical to a level that we haven't experienced yet. Even probably the most technical one was Kansas, I would say, out of all the shotgun shoots, and that's a 5 compared to what an IPSC world shoot is as far as no shoots. I've been told they'll have targets that's the targets are a standard I think it's 6x6. I could be wrong. A 6x6 square. They are allowed to cover I think 3/4 of the target with a no shoot.
Right.
You have with the shotgun this much to shoot at, and these dudes are shooting these with an LM choke, a light mod choke, because they know their chokes. Doesn't compute. I just can't even think about doing that.
So here's a question: do you have another overseas match in your future before World Shoot?
Not as of right now. No. There's a lot of like pre-match stuff going on, and I don't think I'm going to be trying to go to any of that because I think some of it's invite only, and it's just going to be a lot to try to do at that point. But no, I don't have any other extra country out of country matches to go to, so that'll be good for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost tried to go to South Africa, and dear God, I'm glad I didn't do that because that would have been
over the edge.
It would have been because there was like 3 days where because Lynn got invited because they lost a slot. Or not a slot. They lost a shooter for the ladies open team, and they needed someone. So they were like, "Hey, do you want to shoot it?" And she was like, "Dear God, yes! Like this is what I've wanted to do for a long time." And at that point, it was like, "Okay, it's South Africa." I'm like, dear God, why are we going to South Africa? Like sketchy as hell. So I wanted to go with her just because of that. So at that point, I was like considering shooting. They might have been able to get me a slot, and I was thinking about shooting open, but it just ended up like I don't really shoot that to any of the divisions they have, and it would have been too much, so I'm glad I didn't go because it would have been way too much to try to compact into this year. But yeah.
Well, anybody have any other questions? No? Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, AJ, and just filling with information. Congrats on a hell of a year.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, we'll get together at some point, and if not, we'll see you at Superstition for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Are you shooting the PCSLs or?
No, actually, I haven't shot a single PCSL yet.
Oh, really?
Every time I think to nationals, it's full. So
that's valid. It fills up fast.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it though. It's really fun.
I am definitely interested. I want to. I gotta make a concerted effort to actually make it out to one.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah,
because you're in New Mexico, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Opposite side of New Mexico, but yeah.
Right. Do you get to shoot with like Ross Haney and like their local matches? Because I know he does a lot of the local bigger matches there.
Far for a daily match. I want to, and I probably should because they're about 4.5 hour drive from me.
Oh, okay. That's way farther than I thought it would be. Yeah. That's fair.
I used to do a 5 hour drive for a single day match, but I can't do it anymore.
Dude, I can't imagine having to do that. And that's that's also one thing that's like with my training stuff that I don't think I ever can fully appreciate the fact that I live in Arizona and that I can shoot a match every day and have to drive 40 minutes at maximum. Like there's dudes that like you're saying, like you drive 4 hours to a local and that's your only match once a month. Like there is a huge aspect of my training that like I didn't need to train. How do I put it? I didn't
training time because the match was your training time.
Yeah, there's that, but it's also like there's a level of training you get of like mental focus you get from shooting so many matches that you just understand your process and you can kind of zone in because there's a lot of people that like get to a major and they go crazy and then they can't like control their gas pedal, so to speak, and they just kind of like end up throwing a stage here and then they shoot too slow here. But it's like getting to shoot so many matches with like we literally have like 15 GMs a match. Like that's not an exaggeration. So it's like you get to see where you're at, how to do it, like what everyone else is doing better. Like there's so much growth that I got that a lot of people don't get just from being out here. So that's a big asterisk on all my training spiel for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I could see how that would be extremely beneficial.
Yeah.
But cool. Well, yeah, I think we should get on with the rest of the show. Thanks again for coming on and giving us an hour of your time to spill some knowledge. Good luck at Race Gun Nationals coming up. And
for sure, man.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. We'll see you guys. Thanks. It was fun.
Yeah. Thanks, AJ.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you, AJ, again for coming on and just absolutely unloading your knowledge on us. Always great talking to you, and it's great having you on. So
just unloading that knowledge all over our faces. And ears.
Yeah, the guy's absolutely a beast. I know this is a long episode, but I hopefully it's worth it. And
for the question of how ready he is for Greece, he is sitting comfortably at the qualifier with a 3 hundo, and he had to toss out a score that is 99.369. So I think he is doing pretty good.
oh yeah, he expect great things from him because he doesn't mess around when it comes to it. We'll get into listener feedback. Didn't see any emails, and actually with time, I'm wondering how you guys feel about taking YouTube to next week, because there is a bunch of YouTube comments on here.
Yeah, I don't see anything too urgent. I'll just mention that THAIK56 asked last week that we couldn't give a response on if the amnesty has been extended, and I've made a reply, a text version as well. Yes, it has, and you can find that information at canada.ca/en/public-safety-canada, and they have a campaign for the firearm buyback program. You'll see the details there.
Got it.
Cool. And there's been responded to, but I'll respond to one more, and that'll be it for the YouTube comments. There was somebody who was asking on YouTube and our Discord about where to find us. And I realized we say it every week, but we haven't. If you go search Slamfire on Twitch, you're not going to find it. So
interesting. Oh yeah, right.
It's not
Slamfires, yeah.
Yeah. So if you are at your computer and you don't want to do Facebook, on Twitch, search lunatic_tactical, and then you will find where we stream on Twitch. So I did reply in Discord, but just wanted to throw that out there under listener feedback. But the rest of the YouTube comments, we will get to you guys next week. We apologize, but this is a long episode already. And that was basically it. Sponsor links. Buying something, go to our website. We have a link for Bass Pro Canada and Brownells. We get a little kickback as you buy your cool gun toys. We want to thank our supporters on Patreon. I think we're about due I'll figure out another post here to put up. And actually, the whole time on, I didn't go on Patreon, so I will go on there see if we have any comments. Like I said, we don't have any emails, but if you would like to email the show, you can send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. And we'll read it out on the air. Do you guys have any shout-outs?
Oh, I do. I will give a shout-out to our pioneer in IPSC mini rifle and shotgun, David Knox, for match directing and pushing it towards the official IPSC level for fringe minorities like me. And I'll give a recommendation to Dr. Graham Woods with Growing Deer TV on YouTube. It's another resource for like deer hunting, interesting things. And I'll post this short on our Discord, but apparently you can just shoot a doe and let the corpse rest there, and bucks will come in and smell it. So that's kind of interesting. A deer behavior thing, I guess.
Okay. For my shoutouts, I'm gonna shout out Craig, Luke, Corey. You guys were awesome. Thank you for making the drive to the other side of the country worth it. Shout out to AJ on extending his absolute dominant year, and good luck at Race Gun Nationals. That might end up being one of your toughest matches because it's a USPSA pistol, and so looking forward to see what he does there. And shout out to the organizers, everyone who worked Memorial, all the sponsors for Memorial for supporting and working and making just such an amazing event happen. So with that, we are going to sign off. So go join our Discord server, watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, join the CCFR, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Good night, Kelly.